We should be live right now. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching ABL Live. I'm glad you're here with me tonight. You could be anywhere in the whole wide world, but you're right here with me, and I definitely appreciate you for that. There's a whole lot going on with this whole Iraq strike, and the Iranian General, what's his name, Qassem Soleimani, whatever his name is, got hit in the strike. There's a lot of different opinions about this. They're having all kind of protests all over the place talking about we don't want war with Iran. Well, where were they when all the other Iranian people got hit? Where the Iranians hit us overseas? All these little proxy wars that have been going on for a long time all over the world. Where were they then? I think we should come home, but if we over there, then we over there. So what are you going to do? Act or not act? It's kind of a tough situation, but we're here. Will it get to a World War III? I'm seeing all the memes. Everybody making jokes. Hee hee ha ha, but is it really funny? Is it even going to happen? I don't think that it will. But you know, tonight we're going to talk about it. I'm going to read you guys' comments. And I thank y'all for being here live on the show. That was a little early, but it's all good. You're watching ABL Live. Thank you for being here. I definitely appreciate you. I got to get used to the new camera. It's like right there rather than right there. So I'm going to just have to be doing that tonight, getting used to it. Yes. So thank y'all for being here yet again. The Iraq strike, World War III, that's probably the biggest topic on deck right now. A lot of politicians and people in the media are talking about, oh, there could be a war. We could be in a bad situation. The world's going to end. I'm not quite sure that's going to be what it is. Not quite sure at all. Of course, the main thing is the oil. Now, I'm reading the comments right now, and people are saying, hey, the whole thing is over the oil. People are saying we have our own oil here in the United States, but it's not quite that simple. We have our own oil for our reserves, for our use here in the States, but it's not as simple as we can just produce our own oil and at the pump, what we use in our cars will be dictated by our supply. That's not really how it is. You have the global price of oil. That's like a stock market type of thing. And it's influenced by other, like all the nations, Saudi Arabia being, I think, the biggest producer. Russia's right up there as being a big producer. It's weird how the left, or a lot of people that are fear mongering about war right now, have been talking about Russia for the past 3-4 years. Meanwhile, they are also a big exporter of oil, quiet as it's kept, and they have a big relationship with Iran. So you want to try to fight Russia or try to be enemies with Russia. Meanwhile, they're friendly with Iran and they have oil. So what are we really doing? Are we trying to be enemies with Russia because of their oil and because of how they are friendly with Iran and China? I mean, is that what's going on? What's really happening with the whole Russiagate scandal? Is it to simply make Trump look bad and make him out to be some kind of corrupt person? Or is there a deeper situation going on? I can't really tell. I cannot really tell. Yeah, also, exactly, Chin. The oil prices, the global oil prices can also be reflected in trade. Okay, oil is used in a lot of different ways. One of the main ways is the shipping, of course, of goods. If most of there's no cell phones made in the USA. Not one cell phone is made in the United States. Some parts may be made here, maybe, but everything is made over in China. And how do the phones get from Beijing to the United States? It takes oil. So if the oil prices were to raise, and China does not have a lot of access to oil, so if the oil prices raise for them, it'd be reflected in the price you pay for your iPhone. The iPhone's already very expensive. So if the oil prices go up globally, I mean, the whole economy of the world would take a tailspin in the way people don't really understand. People just don't really get it. So the whole battle for the Middle East, which is what it is right now, China's over there, Russia's over there, we're over there. The Middle Easterns, they're fighting over amongst themselves, and they have been since the beginning of man. That battle right there is for the world economy, not necessarily just because of a plot of oil. It's for the whole economy of the world. That's what's really going on, in my humble opinion. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But that's really what it's about. And we're trying to just minimize the, how can I say, we're trying to do as little as possible without being totally shut out of the situation and have our people suffer. It's got to be a balancing act. If we're not over there at all protecting our interests, which is, the oil really, and other nations that also help with the situation, like Saudi Arabia, Israel, whatever. If we're not over there at all, then that's going to be bad for American citizens when you're talking about the economy. If we're over there and we're overstepping our boundaries, like going to Tehran and dropping the nuke, that will be also bad for the economy, and it'll be bad for American citizens due to loss of life. So it's got to be kind of a balancing act that you do over in that particular region of the world. In an ideal world, we should be back here in the States just minding our own business. But unfortunately, that's just not the reality in which we live. It is what it is. Yeah, Saudi contributes a lot of oil. I think like places like Qatar, and when you're talking about politics, you're always going to hear Saudi and Qatar. UAE's and also another big oil producing part. That's all of that is just right there, one little spot. All of that is right there on the Arabian Peninsula, or very close by the Arabian Peninsula, the Middle East. And China is a whole different ball game. Like, China is friendly with Russia and Iran because they don't have access to oil the way that we do. And in order for them to modernize their economy even more, they got to have more oil. So they're trying to play into the Iranian situation from an economic point of view. Some people are saying if Iran is attacked, or if an Iranian person or a general or whatever is attacked, that China would get involved. I don't really think so. Not from a military point of view, because they're in it for the money. They're not in it to be Iranians' defense league. And quite frankly, the Iranians have enough to be able to defend themselves. We're trying to prevent them from building a nuke. All they got to do is go to Pakistan and buy a nuke. I mean, maybe they will be prevented from being able to do that, but there are rogue nations on Earth that would supply them with what they need if they really need it. So, all the nuclear deal, it's kind of just bogus. There was no point in us even being in it, because they're going to do whatever they want to do regardless of what. If they feel like they need to protect themselves or to attack us, then they'll get the means to be able to do it. We can't really sanction them to prevent an attack on us. That's just not really how it is. And the big problem with Iran is the what is it called? A theocracy, pardon me. You have the Iranian Revolution that happened in the 1970s. Before that, Iran kind of looked like, it looked more like Turkey or some almost European, like maybe even America, actually. But then when you had the Iranian Revolution, that brought about the hijabs and all the other, fundamentalist Islamic stuff. So they can't even get involved with the things that they were doing before, the more Western type of culture. Okay. And the Iranian Revolution has brought about a lot of these terror cells that operate from Iran and are funded by Iran. I know guys in the military, and everybody says Iran is the problem. That's the issue. They're imperialistic throughout the Middle East because they prop up regimes. Like, a lot of this stuff happening in Yemen right now, the quote unquote civil war, whatever, that's being propped up by Iran. A lot of the problems that you see in the Middle East are because of Iran. Now, should we attack them? No. But at the same time, if we're going to be over there, then we got to be over there and protect ourselves and our interests. My ideal world would be for us to not even be over there at all. But that's kind of denying the reality of the world in which we live. If we're not over there, then you're going to have other countries that are able to get a leg up on us economically, and our people will suffer as a result. It's kind of a tough situation, but maybe I'm wrong about that. We'll talk about that particular issue a lot once we get the phone calls coming in. I'm going to read some of the comments right here to see what you guys are saying. Let me see. Yeah, World War III. Ain't gonna be no World War III. People talking about that. Nah, like, okay, when talking about World War III, what does that really mean? The world wars had a bunch of nations fighting in the war, but that's not going to be the case here. we hit an Iranian official in Iraq, not Iran, number one. Number two, if there were a fight between the U.S. and Iran, it'd probably stay between the U.S. and Iran. Other countries don't really want to get involved because it would be more harmful to them than it would be helpful. If Russia or China were to get involved, it would not help them as much as it will harm them. Right now, they're trying to deal with Iran on a diplomatic basis to get oil and to get trade going. They don't want to go in there and be like the United States trying to be the police of the world. They're not really trying to do that. So who's going to be on the Iranian side? Some of the countries in the Middle East that they prop up, the terrorist cells, ISIS, who's going to really be on their side? So a world war in this context, in my humble opinion, does not even really make any sense. That's not really going to be what it is. It's not going to be that. So I'm not really sure if world war is the appropriate thing to say here. I don't think it's going to be a war at all. Anything more than what we've been doing, this whole back and forth, this, these proxy battles, the Iranians doing stuff like seizing ships in the Gulf of Hormuz and, stuff like that. Oh, the Strait of Hormuz, pardon me. The Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, like the Strait of Hormuz, it's kind of hard to describe it, but to get to the Persian Gulf, which is very important, you have to kind of go up this strip of land. In between two strips of land, it's like that, and you got to go up that way, and it's easy to veer off into Iranian water or very close to Iranian water, rather than, I think that's what, Yemen right there, or Oman, one of the states to the south of Saudi Arabia on the Arabian Peninsula. So once we go up in that little space right there, it's easy to say, oh, you're on Iranian territorial water. That's when, remember the time where the U.S. ship got seized, and then they, had everybody on camera, the hands up, all this, that, and the third. They had them on the ground, sitting Indian style, eating food. They do stuff like that all the time. Then there was a British tanker and all that kind of good stuff seized right there in that particular part of the world. So they've been doing stuff like this for a long time. They said the guy, Soleimani, had killed like 600 Americans through proxy means. He won't come to the United States and commit a terror attack on Washington, D.C. himself. Maybe he'll send somebody to do it. If you see some kind of random attack, a stabbing or something like that, you got to sit back and ask yourself, is it a lone wolf, or were they prompted to do this by somebody? Were they funded by somebody? 9/11, were they prompted by somebody? Did they do it by themselves? Was it organized? And who was behind it? You got to ask those questions. Okay. Yeah, but Iran, they've been the same way for a long time. This ain't nothing. Nah, I think Trump actually had been trying to hold off on doing anything with Iran. I mean, remember the whole thing with the drone strike? Remember that, where the Iranians shot down one of our drones? I think they shot down two of our drones. I ain't talking about the toy you would get at Best Buy. I'm talking about a drone that's like the size of a 737 jet. Like a drone is like $200 million in real world money that you got to spend on it. A spy drone, information, intelligence, whatever you want to call it. They shot that down. I think they might have shot two of them down. And as a response to that, it was about to be a strike on Iran. They're talking about it was planes in the sky, boats in the water, almost boots on the ground to go strike Iran. And Trump said, hey, if we do this, how many people are going to die? And whoever he was talking to said about 100. He was like, nah, we're not going to do that. So that strike was called off. There have been many times he could have striked Iraq and didn't do it. So I don't know. But not Iraq, Iran. And he still not striked Iran. He striked Iraq, and an Iranian official died as a result. So it is what it is. Yep. Ilhan Omar, of course, Ilhan Omar is going to be crying because she supports the Islamic regimes all over the world, and they support her as well. Isn't she funded by Qatar or something like that? I mean, come on, like, just, it's easy to follow the trail to see where it takes you with a person like Ilhan Omar. Very easy. We have oil over here, but that ain't the same thing as a global oil supply and the price of it. That's a whole different thing. You're talking about a commodity, like that's not quite the same. You want to be more oil independent, so you won't have to rely upon imports for the oil that we use, but the price of it is a thing that will affect the economy and it will affect the price at the pump potentially. That's why anytime you have any kind of little thing that happens overseas, the price of oil goes up because the price of oil it's like a global commodity. So even though we may we could rely more on ourselves to, how can I say, to have oil. The oil that we use could come more from us rather than foreign nations. The price of it can still be altered by what happens in foreign nations due to the global price of it, if that makes any sense. And also the economy in general. You're talking about who uses oil and what do they use it for? Manufacturing a lot of our product. Like I said, there are no cell phones made here, and everybody has one. Computers, cars, all these things require petroleum. All these things require that to use, and if the global price of it goes up, that's going to be an issue. So that's the main thing there. All right, but yeah, ain't gonna be no war, ain't gonna be no World War III. And it's weird how people are talking about, okay, Trump striked an Iranian official in Iraq, therefore, that's an act of war against Iran. What did they say when Barack Obama striked Muammar Gaddafi in Libya? I mean, maybe I'm just incorrect in my recollection, but I don't remember the media talking about this is an unprovoked attack. It's a declaration of war against Libya. I don't really remember that. But like I said, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm getting a little bit too long in the tooth and I've simply forgotten what the media response was back then. It was quite a while ago, but I don't remember the same response. I don't remember all this World War III talk back then. Libya is a small country. Maybe that's why there was not the World War III talk. And people understand that Iran, the ancient Persians, they're a mighty people. So it wouldn't be as easy as fighting Libya or Iraq or Syria or something like that. You understand what I'm saying? And same thing with Libya. He struck Libya at an airport. Nobody died in that one, but nobody said anything. It was just a strike, and that was it. It's pretty weird. Thank you, Tanya. I have a new camera. I'm glad you recognized it. This is actually like a point and shoot. So I got the camera because I know that I'll be on TV some more, and I want to have my video quality a little bit better from when I'm on television. So thank you for recognizing that. I appreciate you. Hillary laughed about it back in Libya. And then, of course, the whole thing with Benghazi, they're trying to say that the Iraqi embassy was Trump's Benghazi, but nobody died. And they're saying that Soleimani was behind the Libya, I mean, not Libya, but the U.S. embassy in Iraq situation just a few days ago. Remember that? Okay. They're trying to say, oh, it's Iraqi protesters disgruntled with Americans. Not quite. It was organized by the Iranians. It was an Iranian militia. That's how they do. They do little things like that. They send their people to other places to attack Americans in other places, rather than the Iranians going straight to Washington, D.C. and dropping the bomb. That's that proxy stuff they do. That's pretty much how it is. Now, I heard that he was plotting terror attacks in the U.S., but who knows? I'm not sure if that's true or false. Where will I be on TV? I'm occasionally on TV on RT. That's Russia Today. If you go to my homepage on my YouTube channel, you'll be able to see some of the debates I've done on RT. But I've also done crosstalk. It's like a 4-person panel, sometimes 3-person. We'll talk about specific issues for like a half hour. So in order for me to be on there and have better quality, I just got a better camera to tighten it up a little bit for the new year. Yep. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but I don't think anybody wants war. Shout out to my man Jericho Green in the building. He says, if you don't want the rocket, don't get out of pocket. Trump 2020. Thank you, Jericho, man. Definitely appreciate you for that. Hey, it is what it is. Yes, indeed. Don't get out of pocket if you don't want that rocket. Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be anything really more than what we had been seeing over the past, I don't know how many years. Like I've said in the video, they've been fighting over there since the beginning of man. The fighting in that particular region of the world is not anything new. That's just what they do. They've been fighting long before the U.S. was even the thought before the U.S. was even imagined, before the first white man came to America, they've been over there fighting. Since the biblical days, they've been fighting. BC, all of that, it's just been what it is. There's a wall around the Vatican because it was to prevent the Islamic invaders from conquering Rome or the Vatican. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this has been going on for a long time. And I think the wall was put up in like, what, 678 AD or something crazy like that, you know? So it's been around for a long time. This ain't nothing new at all. Yeah, it's been around since the beginning of man. All right. So thank you all for being here. Definitely appreciate you. Happy New Year to all you guys, if I've not told you that so far. And thank y'all for joining. We got about 700 in the building. If you like what you're hearing so far, please like the video, share the video, and do all that good stuff. The Rapper 10,000 says, heard about the crazy things that the leftists are saying towards Nancy Pelosi, even after the airstrikes. I've not. What are they saying about Nancy? Shout out to my man, Get a Job in the building. Thank you for joining. Crosstalk on PBS. There may be a crosstalk show on PBS, but there's a different crosstalk show on RT. But then it ain't the same show. It's different shows. I've not been on the PBS crosstalk, but I have been on crosstalk on RT. Have I been on Crowder's show? No, I've not. But I like to be on there. But I've not been on that show yet. Like I said, to anybody that wants me to be on any show, just, contact them and say, hey, get this guy ABL on there. And you guys do that. Thank you guys, because I've, been on certain panels and whatnot. I've met people that say, hey, I always get asked to have you on the show. So you guys definitely do that. And I appreciate you for that. 100%. TE says, Iran is spreading Islam everywhere. Iran sponsoring terrorist sects in Nigeria called Islamic Movement in Nigeria, IMN, which kills Christians. Yes, 100%. I mean, let's not forget about this whole, what was that, the 200, 300 girls? And like in the north of Nigeria is totally just Islamic. Okay, and it's coming from Iran. Like a lot of the funding and whatnot is coming from Iran. Nigeria is a poor country. Where they get all these weapons and video production and all kind of stuff from? Where are they getting it from? They're getting it from foreign governments. They're spreading their Islam all over the place. North Africa, they're all over, everywhere. They're not just in Iran. They're everywhere. That's the main thing they do. It's not about necessarily Iran, the landmass, ancient Persia, whatever you want to call it. It's about the imperialists that come from Iran to spread Islam all throughout, like North Africa, parts of the Middle East, everywhere. That's what they do. Maybe even up to like, Armenia, Georgia, Dagestan, places like that. That's what they do. Okay, so that's just what it is. But do I think we should go to war with Iran? Absolutely not. And I don't think it's going to get to that particular point, because I don't think they really want that. They are not going to be an easy foe, obviously, but at the same time, I think that they know we're not going to be, we'll be much more difficult than they would be. So it'd be a suicide mission. And they got their own people to be worried about. They're more focused on trying to get some of these sanctions off of their back so they can get their economy back on track, rather than diving into a war, which make the economy even worse for their people. I mean, you may say, okay, we hate the Americans, we hate what they're doing, but do you hate the Americans so much you're going to kill your own people to do it? Maybe so, because remember, a lot of Iranians in Iran don't like the current regime. The Ayatollah, the president, this dude Soleimani, they don't like him. A lot of Iranians celebrated after this guy was killed. Okay, they had the protesters, and a lot of them got, I think, killed, if I'm not mistaken. If wrong, let me know in the comments below. And this guy Soleimani was behind that. We can't have any, what they call it, sedition. We can't have anything like that from our people. So if they get out of line, then it's whatever. I've met people that have escaped the Iranian regime, what they call it when it's like, the theocracy. They have escaped that particular thing and they don't want to go back. So when I hear people talking about here, they say, we got to have religion be the dominant force over government. It's like, no, you don't want that. Christian values did build the Western world, but the founding fathers understood that we can't have any religion be the dominant force over our government. We can't be making the rules from religion specifically, or we can't have the church be the guiding light, be the governing body. That's what's happening right now in the Iranian regime. The religion rules the government. And it's crazy because you go over there, they don't really live that particular way. Once you get to the high levels, the people got to put on all this kind of stuff, the hijab, niqab, or whatever. But once you get to the elite level, you're going to see a whole different way of living. And that's why the people of Iran, many of them don't like the current regime. Simple as that. All right. Shout out to the super chatters. I'm going to read some of you guys' comments because the comments are coming in fast and furious. And I thank y'all for being here 100%. You could be anywhere, but right here with me, and I certainly appreciate you for that. Let me just refresh this page right here. We can get to the super chats. Let me see. Shout out to Joshua Perez, who says, Obama supported Iran and blew up places for no reason. Obama is a swamp snake, and I'm happy that his legacy is getting destroyed. Hashtag Keep America Great 2020. I'm right there with you on that, man. The legacy is going bye-bye. He was so concerned about that legacy. He was preoccupied and did not get anything done. Maybe the whole thing about legacy was preoccupying them. Maybe he was just a bad president and couldn't get anything done regardless. Even if he paid all attention to what he's supposed to be doing, he still couldn't get anything done. But thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you to First Fire 508 Brightion, who says Sweden is giving Arabic driver license lessons. Are you serious? Like, are they giving the lessons in Arabic? That's crazy, but that's what happens when you just allow any of your body to come into your country. But thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Blue de Galdier, who says, keep up the great work. Hey, thank you for your very kind words and your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Valerie Rogers, who says, the Arabs have been fighting forever. Yes, they've been fighting since the beginning of man. This is not a new thing. People talking about, oh, you want war, you want this, you want that. They've been fighting forever. They want to blame the United States for the Middle East being unstable. It's like, how can you blame us? They've been the same exact way since the very beginning. Since the beginning, it's no, there's been no unity that I can remember. I mean, for an extended period of time, that's just not what it's been. The Ottoman Empire, they were fighting with people, the Persians, and I mean, come on, the Syrians, they've been fighting for a long time. So cut it out. But thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Robert Wiles, who says, have a blessed day in life doing what you love. And again, thanks for all you do for us this Tuesday. I plan on buying one of the hats you sell. Hey, I thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate it for, supporting the merchandise. Shout out to Will Redding, who says, the left is mourning loss of a tyrannical, authoritarian psycho. Trump is playing them as usual. Hey, you're right about that. And thank you for your donation. Did you guys see that actress? I forget her name, but you guys know who I'm talking about. I think she was in Charmed. Was it Rose McGowan? It might have been her. Somebody, one of these people on the left. Anyway, she was talking about, oh, I'm sorry, Iran. And she posted some Iranian flag with some bears on it. It's like, why you got the Iranian flag with bears on it? Like, what is the deal? Hold on, let me see if I can find that. Rose McGowan, Iran apology. Let me see. Yeah, it was her. Now, okay, let me see if I can find the actual image that I want to show you guys. Give me 1 second here. But that was crazy. It's like, what are we doing? Okay, here it is. Now, this image was crazy. Let me go ahead and put it up on the screen right quick. Let me see. All right, let's put it up. So that's her, Rose McGowan. She looked a lot different back in the day when, she did not have Trump derangement syndrome. I don't know what's really going on here, but anyway. It says, hold on. Let me just get it in focus. And okay, if I can get it in focus, that'd be great. All right, let's try that way. All right, we'll do it this way. There we go. Dear Iran, the USA has disrespected your country, your flag, and your people. 52% of us humbly apologize. Now, I didn't get the memo that we had to apologize. I was not asked on the phone, hey, do you apologize to Iran? Because I would have said no. But anyway, we want peace with your nation. We are being held hostage by a terrorist regime. We do not know how to escape. Please do not kill us. Hashtag Soleimani. And you see the Iranian flag with like a sun and like, what is that? A bear or a cat? I don't know what that is. A lion. It's like, well, the real Iranian flag says Allahu Akbar 13 times on it. Did you know that? Matter of fact, let me pull up the actual Iranian flag. And people say, oh, it means God is great. Okay, why not just say God is great? Why you got to say Allahu Akbar? Allahu Akbar is a battle cry. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, so you see that little funny looking script right there? That is a stylized script that says Allahu Akbar, and it says it 13 times on the flag, if I'm not mistaken, or it could be more. It could be 26, 13 top, 13 bottom, but it does say Allahu Akbar. It's a takbir. This right here is what you get from a theocracy based in Islam. The actual name of Iran is the Islamic Republic of Iran, not just Iran. Very important to understand that. So I don't know where she got the little cuddly pictures from of the sun and the emoji, cute bear, whatever. But the real flag says something much different. So, I'll just leave that right there. It is what it is. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of that right now online, and it's kind of strange. People apologizing, talking about, oh, we're sorry. Sorry for what? Sorry for what? Sorry for getting killed by this guy? It's really crazy. All right. But thank y'all for being here. Definitely. I appreciate y'all. All right. I'm reading some of the comments. Matter of fact, let me see. I want to just make sure that I'm right about that. I know it says Allahu Akbar, but I'm going to see how many times it says it. It says 11 times. Okay. Yep, 11 times. So 22 times total. 11 on top, 11 at the bottom. 22 times total. That's what it says. Allahu Akbar. Yeah, a lion. I'm not trying to see the cute lion or the sun on the flag. That's not even really what it says. That's not even what's going on. And then the symbol in the middle is a dragon. Okay, I see. Yep, 22 times. Yep. So that's pretty much that. All right, let me just refresh my page because things are going real fast. We got 812 live in the building. Thank y'all again for joining. What are you guys' thoughts about the whole Iranian situation? I want to hear from you guys because I do read the comments. I don't really comment that much on comments on my videos, but I read a lot, as much as I can, or I just at least browse through them. So as we're live right now, I want to hear you guys' comments about the whole Iranian situation. Do you think there will be a war? Let's be clear what Trump has actually said, because the media and people will say whatever they want. But let's hear what Trump has said. Trump's like, look, we did this action to prevent war rather than to start it. Look at it like this. If the guy was trying to plan a terror attack on Washington, D.C., and he was successful, what happens then? If Iran or anybody attacks Washington, D.C., what do you do as a result of that? You got to do something. It's one thing to have us be attacked over there where we are not actually supposed to be. But if they attack us over here, what do you do? If you do nothing, you're going to get repeatedly attacked until you do something. It's like a bully. If a bully hits you one time and you don't do anything, or nothing is done to prevent it from happening again, there's no intervention, the bully will continue to do it because he can or she can. That's kind of how this works. So if you do nothing after you get attacked on American soil, you pretty much just food for anybody to come in and do whatever they want. So if the objective was to prevent that from happening, so there would not have to be an immediate and direct response, was it a good thing or not? I just want to know that just so I can understand. Yeah, Rocket Man ain't going to do nothing either. Rocket Man is just firing missiles in the water to get some attention, but he won't do nothing to us. And we already told Rocket Man, it's like, look, man, you want to do something to us? You want to try to play games with us? What's going to end up happening is we're going to turn the northern part of the Korean peninsula into a nice big sheet of glass. It's going to be an artificial skating rink. You could put on some ice skates and do Cirque du Soleil in that jank. You understand what I'm saying? It would not be a place you really want to be. Simple. So he doesn't want that. We don't want that. So we don't have any more problems. That's it. He may try to build some nukes, but he's not going to use them on us. If he does, then it'll be a wrap. So I'm just reading some of the comments here. Lone Wolf 96 year funny guy says home base attack equals rocket up the bunghole. Hilarious. Yeah, so I don't think there's going to be a war. Not at all. Not at all. That's not what we want. That's not what they want. And the craziest part is that this guy actually, attacked his own people, the protesters. He attacked them in Iran. So, Virginia McCabe says he had the nerve to leave his country just to come over and firebomb our embassy. We were too smart for that idiot. Drop bomb his hind parts. I see. I'm with you. Appalachia against the world. Yeah, Appalachia versus everybody. 100%. Let me see. Garth Reed says, Allah Akbar is not a battle cry. Okay. Then what is takbir? What does takbir mean? You tell me. And you got to understand, I know a lot about this. What does takbir say? Like, what is, when somebody says takbir and then they reply Allah Akbar, when somebody says takbir and then they reply Allah Akbar, what is that? I guess it could be a contextual thing, but what is a takbir? Even on Google, it says that takbir is an Arabic phrase, Allahu Akbar, or God is the greatest, quote unquote. It is a common Islamic Arabic expression used in various contexts by Muslims, keyword context, informal prayer, and the call for prayer as an informal expression of faith in times of distress or joy, or to express resolute determination or defiance. That's from Google itself. And you know how leftist they are. But to those of us who understand, the takbir is definitely a battle cry. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. Anthony Evelyn says 1,000 protesters. Hold on. Let me just make sure I can. 1,000 protesters killed in Iraq, 2,000 in Iran, all protesting against Iranian mullahs. There you go. It is what it is. So, yeah, I think that there are more friends of us overseas than what we know. And like I've said, I've met people that have escaped the Iranian regime, the Iranian theocracy, and they're thankful to be over here in the States where we don't have these kinds of issues that they have over there. 100% thankful. Okay, I'm going to just refresh my thing over here because it wants to just do whatever it wants. All right. Let's try to get this going. Hold on one second, because YouTube is acting up. Let me go back to where I was. Thank you all for joining. Definitely. Yet again, we got almost 1,000 in the building. Please hit the like button and share the video if you want to share it. Also, if you're not subscribed, please do so. That'll help me out tremendously. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and load this thing back up. Come on, YouTube. We don't got all day to even see what's happening here. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and go over here to see what's going on. There we go. Okay, let me see. Ilhan Omar. Now, what was her response? Because I'm seeing that in the chat, but you guys let me know what the actual response was. That's what I want to know, because I was seeing a little bit of, she's talking about how, we shouldn't have striked an Iranian official, a government official. I think that was her response, but you guys gave me a little bit more. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me go ahead and find it. I have the internet right in front of me. Let me go ahead and find Ilhan Omar and her response to Soleimani. Okay. Oh, okay. New York Post. Great source. Now, let's pull it up. And it says, Ilhan Omar and Ted Cruz clash over Qassem Soleimani strike. Alrighty. Is it me or does her head wrap change all the time? Like, it's not even really culturally appropriate. Like, it's kind of strange. I digress. Let's get back into this whole thing. Okay, let me see. Representative Ilhan Omar mocked Ted Cruz on Friday after the senator suggested that she and other Democrats were outraged over the death of Iranian General Soleimani. Cruz was responding to a tweet in which Omar called on members of Congress to step in and prevent President Trump from engaging in armed conflict with Iran. Cruz tweeted, according to the said as quoted, Obama Department of Defense, Qassem Soleimani was a terrorist directly responsible for the murder of over 500 U.S. servicemen and women. Why are congressional Democrats outraged that he's finally dead? Great question. In response, Omar suggested that Cruz was purposefully overlooking the actual nature of her criticism. Quote, we are outraged that the president will assassinate a foreign official, possibly setting off another war without congressional authorization and a zero plan to deal with the consequences, she responded. But of course you know that. Now, pause right there. How does she know there's no plan to do with any kind of backlash? Surely she has to get that there's an actual, there's a cabinet, there's people that are helping. It's not just Trump just doing whatever he wants to do with no kind of advice from the outside, okay? I don't think Trump is a foreign policy expert. Therefore, he would not do a thing like this without any kind of suggestion from the outside. So it doesn't really make any sense. Furthermore, her whole thing is to defend anybody that's Muslim, anybody that kind of is in her particular group, she's going to defend. That's really what it is, okay? And it continues. She also tweeted a quote in which Cruz, President Trump's former opponent in 2016 Republican primaries, cast doubt on Trump's ability to lead. So what? That's just politics. It ain't nothing. Omar also criticized Trump, indicating that he was doing what he predicted former President Obama would do with Iran, start a war. Yeah, now I did see the whole thing about Obama saying that, that Trump said Obama would start a war with Iran, but Trump did not strike Iran. See, that's a key difference. You're striking Iraq. The same as what we had been doing for a very long time, striking Syria, Iraq, all other places. We're not striking Iran. Now, if you strike Iran, that'd be a whole different ballgame. At that point, you're getting into a direct war rather than these little proxy battles that we had been doing over the past forever. Before Trump, before Obama, this has been the constant thing over there. You fight little proxy battles rather than fighting people directly. That's kind of how that goes. Like, wasn't like the Vietnam War, proxy war between the U.S. and Russia, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been the Korean War. These wars are just kind of proxies, and we're not fighting on the scale of what we had been in the past, in my opinion. But Ilhan Omar is just somebody that wants to defend the Islamic people. Simple. Okay, so that's pretty much the long and short of that. But I don't think we're going to get into no kind of real war with Iran. That's not really going to be what happens. She's just trying to defend them and trying to attack Trump. People are taking this opportunity right now to attack Trump. It's really weird. I did not see the same level of attacking when Obama drone striked Muammar Gaddafi. I just didn't really see it, but maybe I've missed it. Maybe I just didn't catch it in my observation of politics at that particular point in time. Maybe I've forgotten it over the years. Maybe I'm getting old, a little longer in the tooth. Maybe I forgot. But I don't remember the same level of criticism against Obama talking about, are you trying to spark war with the Middle East and Libya and stuff like that when he killed Gaddafi, engaging in regime change. Okay, so it is what it is. Yep. But Omar's going to do the same thing. Like, she always does that. That's pretty much her shtick at this particular point. Yeah, thank you, Frank. I appreciate you. I'm glad you enjoyed the content. But hey, we're going to see what, how this whole thing folds out. Now Iran says they have a bunch of sites they want to strike. But as far as I know, the sites aren't here in the United States, which lets you know they're not trying to start a war. Like if they wanted to start a war, they would say, okay, we're going to Washington, D.C. tomorrow and we're going to strike. But they're not going to do that. Let me see. Okay, Iranian General Qassem Abu Hamza, the commander of the Revolutionary Guards in the southern province of Kerman, offered a few specifics as he rattled his saber, naming only American warships in the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz and the Israeli city of Tel Aviv as potential targets. Yeah, they ain't gonna hit Tel Aviv because unlike Iran, Israel has nukes, so they're not gonna do that. Israel is the only nation that has nukes right there in that particular part of the world, at least natively. You may be able to have, like I said before, Iran could purchase nukes from a Pakistan or something like that, but they don't have nukes themselves as far as we know, but they could. They could have WMDs, but that's not been confirmed. But Israel most certainly has nukes, 1,000%. So if you want to attack Tel Aviv, that might not really be a good idea at all. Alrighty. Thank you, the Marcus Love Experience. I appreciate you, man. 100%. I'll take calls in about 10 to 15 minutes. So y'all hang tight. I will be on the line talking to you guys. Now, some people are going to say that Obama didn't get flat because he was in on it. You know, you see him in his garb or whatever. I don't know nothing about that. I think Obama was just a suit. Same thing as George Bush. It's like, okay, here's some papers, sirs. Go out here and read this, say this, do that. They didn't really have too much input in the whole situation. They just kind of put on a fast track, and it's just like you just put them on rails and put them on autopilot because anything they do is pretty much ordered by someone else. But a guy like Trump is in there actually, trying to lead from the front. It's the same thing that Reagan was doing. And them coming from the Hollywood world was good because they're not constantly in the DC world. Like a lot of these people are just kind of like employees. You're told, okay, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to do that. Ain't nothing wrong being an employee because if without employees, you wouldn't have any kind of business. You wouldn't have any economy. But when you're trying to become the president, that mentality must go. Now you got to go into boss mode. So if you were an employee, you got to now shift. But a lot of these guys look at being the president as a job where they're being told by other people what to do. But you're the president. You don't really take orders. Okay. You have checks and balances that keep you in line, but you don't take orders. You give the orders. You sign the check on the front at the back. You're the boss. And a lot of these guys in DC don't get it. They pretty much fall in line and do whatever their advisors tell them to do. Remember the whole thing? I think it might have been after 9/11, and you had George Bush on stage, and he was signing something. I might have been Bush or somebody, or might have been Bill Clinton, but he was on stage signing something, and it was a handler right here saying, "Yo, just hurry up, just get that done." They don't have any kind of control over the situation. They're not bosses. You're not gonna see a person just rush Trump, or it just don't really happen when you're in the mind state of a leader and not just a cog in the machine. You are the guy that makes the machine go rather than being a cog in it. But hey, some are saying this could be a distraction because of the election coming up. He doesn't need a distraction. What's the point of having a distraction? The impeachment's going nowhere. There's no evidence there. Look at the candidates on the left. Nobody's even caring about them anymore. I mean, like there's no coverage of them at all. All that's being spoken about is Trump. Even before the Iran situation, it was all Trump 24/7. So what's the purpose of even having, a distraction? Why? It's not needed. To distract from what? Nothing. Yep. CIA hand puppet. Exactly. Thank you, Jay Renee. I appreciate you. Thank you for your support. Yeah, war's bad in general. You don't want to have war. So, and I think Trump has pretty much stood on that for a long time. Remember when Trump took troops out of Syria, people were mad about that. Okay, so it's like the same people that are mad that Trump took troops out of Syria are also mad that he struck the Iranian general in Iraq. So it's like you can't really win. If you take troops away, you're doing bad. If you bring troops there, you're doing bad. If you don't strike, you're bad. If you do strike, you're bad. People are just going to say things because they don't like what you're talking about, and not necessarily because it's wrong. That's kind of a dangerous thing because people don't know what to believe. If they're relying upon the mainstream media and their elected officials to guide them when they're talking about politics, and they're hearing these things that don't make any sense, they kind of conflict with each other, that could aid in the onset of Trump derangement syndrome. How are you really going to understand what's going on with yourself when these people keep giving you mixed messages? The world is totally just a foreign land to you because you don't even know where you at. People that are supposed to be in charge, leading you in the right direction, have no idea where they're going. All right. So let me go ahead and get to some super chats here. And thank y'all for being here. I most certainly appreciate you. 1000%. You could be anywhere on a Saturday night, which right here with me. I definitely appreciate you for that. All right, and let me go see here. But you guys have been great tonight. We got a packed house, about 850 in here, and I'm loving it. Will Redding says, Trump making red line great again. There you go, 100%. There have been plenty of things that Trump could have striked anybody on, especially an Iranian official, but he didn't do it, and he's not striked Iran. Now, if he strikes Iran, you're in a whole different stratosphere, a whole different ballgame if he strikes Iran. Like, if he goes to Tehran and drops a bomb, that's something else. But thank you for your donation. Thank you to Say Hi, who says, Soleimani, you're fired, with the bomb emoji. Hilarious. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Bucolic Buffalo, who says, Tora. Thank you for your donation, boss. Shout out to my man Nippin, who says, don't think that I'll be able to call in tonight. I have to go to a soccer football match tomorrow, so I'll call in either Wednesday and or Saturday, depending on whether I have to work on Thursday. Oh, it's all good, man. Enjoy the soccer match. You know, soccer over here. I know you guys call it football, but enjoy your match, man, and have fun. Definitely appreciate you for your donation. Thank you to Hanzo, who says, I remember very well the left and the media crying about the Kurds in Syria, and Trump needs to do something. But when Trump drone bombs in Iraq, something Obama did, the left starts whining again. Exactly. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate you. Can't win for losing. If you do strike, you're bad. If you don't strike, you're bad. If you add troops, you're bad. If you subtract troops, you're bad. There's no way of winning. And thank you for your donation. Thank you to Jay Swift, who says in early 1800s, the U.S. paid a ransom to pirates sponsored by the Arabs. Of course, they went back on the word and was the first conflict after the British. Well, there it is. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Blue de Gaulier, who says U.S. Navy was created to combat Islamic terrorism. Didn't know that, but thank you for your donation. Thank you to Army Mech 37, who says, thank you for your channel and your insights. I appreciate your hard work. Happy New Year and God bless. Keep up the good work. I thank you for your very kind words and your donation. I definitely appreciate you, boss. And thank you for your service as well, Army Met, pardon me. Shout out to Joshua, who says, my downstairs neighbors call my hat a racist hat. And down south, however, they will treat you as a friend. It's sad, but not surprising. Exactly. You know, where I live, they have pop-up Trump shops. It could be anywhere, gas station, whatever. They'll just pop up and selling Trump hats and flags, and people be out there shopping like it's not even really a big deal. You know, you see black folks, white folks, Asians, Hispanics, everybody wearing the Trump hat. You know, it's all good. There's no hate. You know, and that's why it kind of trips me out that the left talk about how racist the South is, but I've been in the South. I'm in the South right now. I mean, I just don't see the racism. Maybe in some kind of little backwater town that nobody ever goes ever. Maybe there could be there, but even there, they're not really worried about race. They're more worried about trying to get something to eat and take care of themselves. They're not really worried about trying to be racist. But thank you for your donation and your comments. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Crush Groovin, who says, sorry, I can't listen now. We'll see some near the end. Right action, wrong attack. The Lucy agenda is sick with all the responses. Exactly. Yep. I'm seeing that a lot. Well, he was a terrorist to kill a lot of people, but, you know, I'm seeing that a whole lot. But thank you for your donation. And shout out to everybody that is in here. I appreciate you guys. You guys have been fantastic already. I'm trying to keep up with the comments, but it's going kind of fast for me on my end. Over here, it's not too bad, but over here where I'm at, it just kind of acting a little bit weird. Let me see. Yeah, the South is just different. You know, the South, people got to understand we are more multicultural than the North is. You know, Mississippi is like 58% white. It's not like what people think Mississippi is or the South is. You know, where I live, I'm in Tennessee, right? You got like a bunch of Guatemalans, a lot of Koreans, a lot of white folks, a lot of black folks. I mean, I see everybody out here. Everybody. It's not like what you may think. If you've not been here, or if you are just not familiar with the South, it's not what you think. Man, look at Texas. You got a lot of Hispanics, whites, blacks. Every ethnicity is there. Even in the small towns, they're there. Nikki Haley from South Carolina, and she's Indian, straight from the Indian subcontinent. You know, it's just the same kind of way that people don't understand you could be Jamaican and not be looking like me. You understand what I'm saying? You got white Jamaicans, black Jamaicans, East Indian Jamaicans, Chinese, all of that. That had the patois and all of that. They speak the same way you would hear a Jamaican speak. It's just not black. So, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm out here, Marcus. East Tennessee, like what, like Chattanooga, Knoxville, or further up north. I'm out here, man. I'm out here in Chattanooga. Hey, the South is great. It's fantastic down here in the South, and the weather is better. Even from Virginia, like, you know, I love Virginia, 100%. I'm a Virginia boy to my heart forever. You know, from now until forever, I'm a Virginia boy. And by the way, West Virginia. So I got West Virginia in me because I was born and my family's from there, but I was raised in Virginia. But even in Virginia, you got like snow and stuff like that. Down here, like, it's no snow really. You got beautiful views, great weather. It's affordable. It's jobs. You got Volkswagen, Amazon coming to Nashville. It's good. Maryville. Okay, I know Maryville. Shout out to Maryville. Yep. But yeah, it's good down here. And people are leaving, the the northern liberal places with a lot of people that they're leaving California. Like, every time I turn my head on the road, I'm seeing somebody with Chicago plates. I saw a lady with like an entire Chicago Cub outfit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, a lot of Chicagoans are coming down here. People from Indiana, Illinois in general, like to the south of Indiana, Illinois, St. Louis are coming out here. People are leaving these places and coming to the South for a better way of life. It is what it is. Rand University, Kanawha County. Yes, indeed. Born in Rand, West Virginia. That's my birthplace. My family on both sides come from West Virginia. So I'm like a guy that comes from a different country. Like, let's say I came from Nigeria, but was raised in Virginia. That's kind of how I look at West Virginia. It's a whole different world that people don't know about because nobody really goes there. But me being born there, I've been up there a lot. My family from there. It's something that you can't really understand unless you've been there. And Virginia is a whole different place too. In Tennessee, you got to go to these places and really experience it to judge it. Middle Tennessee, yeah. Hey, Nashville is great. I'm with it. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that's here. Shout out to Vegas. I've been to Phoenix. I want to go to Vegas too, but you know, it's so hot. The heat is different. Like, I'm used to the heat where it's like 100 degrees and humid. I'm used to the heat like in Virginia or down here where it's like you go outside and you start sweating. I'm used to that. But that heat where you go outside, it's 1,000 degrees and you're not sweating. I'm scared. I'm like, okay, why am I not sweating? And then when I drink water out there, it's like I'm drowning. I don't like it. But it's beautiful out there in that desert. It's really nice. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. Shout out to Jason Mattoon who says, "Watch the documentary, The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia." I think I heard about that, but I don't know if I saw it or not. What is the documentary about? That's what I want to know. I may watch it. I may watch it tonight after I get off. And where is it at? Is it like Netflix or something? Before I cancel Netflix again, I might have to watch that if it's there. Oh no, humidity. The humidity is better than the dry heat is terrible because it's like, why am I not sweating? What's going on? Hey, yeah, Utah. I love to go to Utah or anywhere like that. Arkansas. I'll go to Arkansas. There ain't no hospital. It's like, go to Memphis. That's like 4 or 5 hours away. I go. Yeah. Now, I heard something before I get to the calls. I heard that the Selective Service website crashed because of all the millennials searching to see if they got to go to war. Like all these memes and stuff about World War III, people are really buying into it. Like, oh my God, I'm going to go get drafted. It's like, man, come on. Like, in a war, you'll be all right. Don't even worry about it. It's not even that type of party yet. Kuwait. Oh, I can imagine Kuwait being hot. I mean, you right there in a serious, like, for real desert. Okay. Phoenix and stuff like that, it's just kind of dry land, but it's not a desert like Middle East, Kuwait and stuff like that. A friend of mine was over there in Middle East. He was talking about how soda, like you can't keep anything cool. You drinking soda, it's like scorching hot. So if he drinks a soda over here that's not in the refrigerator, like straight from the store in the bag, it's like cool to him because over there it's scorching hot. You know what I'm saying? Alrighty, so I'm gonna get to the calls. Yes, it crashed. Correctly outraged. It crashed, and they put out a tweet. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm gonna pull the tweet up, then I'm gonna get to the calls. I'm gonna saying that for a while, but I'm gonna get to it seriously. Okay. Let me see. So this is serious. It's straight from a the verified page. Oh, okay. I'm going to try to make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. Due to the spread of misinformation, our website is experiencing high traffic volumes at this time. If you are attempting to register or verify registration, please check back later today as we're working to resolve this issue. We appreciate your patience. That's from a Selected Service, like their actual official blue check mark page. The website crashed due to people searching, talking about, oh, I'm going to go to war, is that, and the third. It really did crash. But hey, that's the power of the internet. It's a tool that can be used for good and evil, I suppose. But all right, super chats. Then I'm going to get to the calls because I know I'm going to talk about that for a while. Okay. Super chats up. Let's refresh right quick. And thank you to Seha, who says, wasn't the biggest quid pro quo, page 86 of the Iran deal, Obama granting amnesty to Soleimani with pallets of unmarked bills worth $1.7 billion. Treasonous rats. Hey, I'm right there with you. Very good point. Thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Tina Bobina, who says, I've been watching you for a while. Happy New Year. Well, thank you for watching. I definitely appreciate your support. Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you to Mark Service, who says, shout out to ABL. Do you think Biden's high polling will magically disappear after the impeachment debacle gets smacked down at the Senate? That's a good question. I don't think it'll really disappear because if it will affect him, it'll affect everybody in a negative way that's running. And I don't see anybody that is close to him that could take over for Joe Biden. So, I don't think it'll disappear, but it doesn't really matter because he is still the worst candidate they can possibly put out there out of anybody that could win or that has a chance of being able to, like, he's not a good candidate for them to have, although he's polling well, it doesn't matter. Thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you to Leonard Perry for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. And let's get to the calls. You guys on the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. And we're going to go ahead and get into it. Let's turn the desktop audio off and make sure Skype wants to load up properly. All right. Let me see. Just make sure everything's good on my end. And okay. All right, Matt, what's going on?
Back in 1998, after Osama bin Laden attacked.
Hold on. Before you go on, I had you muted by accident. So could you start from the top about Bill Clinton?
Oh, he was bragging back in maybe 2012, 2013 that he could have killed Osama bin Laden.
Right.
And the what he was saying was that uh, back in 1998, Osama bin Laden attacked the U.S. Embassy in Tanzania and killed a whole bunch of people. I mean, it was a bombing. I mean, they pretty much leveled the building with bombs. But the reason why he didn't attack Osama bin Laden was that he was afraid that people would think that it was him trying to deter attention away from his impeachment.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, there is no, I mean, you had a commenter that early on, you read a super chat, he nailed it. There is nothing Trump can do that's right. Nothing. There's no win situations for him when it comes to foreign policy, domestic policy, anything.
Exactly. I mean, you can't do anything because the whole thing with the troops in Syria, when he removed them, it was like, oh, that's bad because of the Kurds. Then he strikes in Iraq. Oh, that's bad because you can't do that. It's going to spark war. So it was like, what can he do that's going to be right? Nothing he can do. I mean, even with like positive things, you can't really spend. Talking about the economy and whatnot, they want to try to spend that a whole lot of year. But so it doesn't matter what he does. What you're hearing from people on the left and the media are what they're going to say regardless because that's their enemy. So they have to always fight against their enemy in their mind.
Yeah, and like when Trump and McCain kind of went sideways on each other, and I'm a veteran and I'm not a McCain fan in the least bit. But now all of a sudden the left is all hawkish, and then when Trump is hawkish, they're all dovish. I mean, there's things that I kind of wish Trump didn't do. Like I think when it come to killing Soleimani, like if you read about the attack on the embassy, it was basically a disparate protest. It wasn't something that was like organized or significant in the least bit. I probably would have killed that guy after, he had done something more major and maybe not just that, and done it immediately after so that the cause and effect could have a direct line. And I know sometimes that's not possible. But at the end of the day, I do wish we were completely out of there. But, we're in Iraq. We broke it. We absolutely destroyed Libya. So, we're accountable for that. And, I feel bad for Trump trying to sort of reverse what our foreign policy over there, especially at a time now when John Bolton, of all people, is praising the assassination of Soleimani.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But hey, good show, and thanks for everything. I just wanted to remind you about the Bill Clinton did the exactly opposite and was praised for it, and but Osama bin Laden lived a long time. I think he had maybe about 8 chances to kill Osama bin Laden and didn't for one reason or another. That mountain range? What was the mountain range that they had him cornered in Afghanistan? The I can't think of it at this time, but I mean we had him dead to rights a number of times and didn't kill him. So, but that's all I got for you.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, take it easy.
Same to you. Thank you to my man Matt for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And thank you all for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. If you want to do like Matt did again through Skype, there's an email for this in the description box below. Add me on the email on Skype. You can be right there in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, and you can talk that way. Let me get to the next call. 702, you on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hello, this is John from San Francisco.
All right, John, what's going on?
Hi, greetings from the great city of San Francisco perfect weather, great neighbors and people, wonderful. I just want to spread the good cheer. I'll speak slowly and simply for the conservatives in the audience, in your audience right now, if I may. Once again, just like Incheon in Korea, Tonkin in Vietnam, another bogus war, thanks to a war. Apparently, all your audience believes is that war Nintendo and PlayStation game. Then this could be big. And all
Sir, hold on, sir. Your phone is breaking up.
Oh, okay. Could you hear me?
I hear you right now, but you got to put some more minutes on the Obama phone. Get it tightened up a little bit.
No, I don't have an Obama phone, sir. Please don't say that. And if I had an Obama phone, if I had one, it would work better than the Trump Chinese imports that Apple and Trump put together. So don't insult my president.
Is that
don't
Trump? Is that Trump?
My president.
Is that Trump that put that made Apple bring in their phones from China?
Yes, it was Donald Trump, the same one who wanted to build hotels in Moscow and who wanted to swing the election so he can make another $5 billion. Now, all I want to say is this. I had a hard day today, sir. After I did my duties at Starbucks, I went out on cleanup patrol. And despite all of the conservative knuckleheads out in your audience, I didn't find one poop to pick up. So those lies, and let me tell you something, you talk about Tennessee and you talk about Virginia, if you go on tons of websites, Chattanooga and Nashville are constantly rated as the most dangerous, worst cities in the United States, while my beautiful city by the bay is always rated a top-rated city.
Is it really? So, I don't know about that. I mean, you got a lot of drug addicts, a lot of homeless people. 20% of the nation's homeless people live in California. Isn't that kind of bad?
Because sir, it's unreal. It's not happening. I invite all your audience, every one of your audience, to come out and have a good time and by the bay and see that it's a ton of lies. Not one person who lives in San Francisco admits that, because it's a pack of Republican lies.
Isn't there also really big income inequality in San Francisco? I mean, a lot of rich people making a whole lot of money. I think the cheapest house in San Fran is like $800,000. So, I mean, aren't you guys all about equality and everybody getting their fair shake in affordable housing? So why is that not the case in San Francisco? What's going on?
Well, first of all, it's due to global warming. The weather here is hold on. The weather here is perfect. It's cool all year round, and this is where people want to be. So they're going to pay the price. Secondly, aren't you and your Republican cronies the capitalists who say that big government, that big market and free market is the way to go? Well, that's what we're doing in San Francisco. Free market economy.
Okay, so you want to, be like us and have free market economy and that kind of thing. So, okay, I mean, if you want to join us on that end, that's good. If you appreciate economy and how it works, then that's a great thing. Just like high minimum wages don't really do good because it takes a lot of poor people out of the job market altogether. So shouldn't you kind of reduce that in San Fran? Isn't it like $15 an hour?
It's really funny. The people who own the sports franchises and the bourgeoisie and the dirty capitalists, they're the ones that pay their players and pay their actors multi-millions of dollars. But if they have to pay a poor kid or a poor woman, by the way, which is mostly minority, if they have to earn $15 an hour, all of a sudden the businesses are going broke. They don't have a dime to pay their employees.
Okay. Are you trying to compare? Yeah. Are you trying to compare a sports league like the LA Lakers to a mom and pop burger joint? Are you trying to compare that to that? Does it make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense in the fact is that the sports leagues are leeches on the taxpayers like Las Vegas, that the Oakland Raiders moved to Vegas, and the taxpayers in Nevada are picking up the tab for that. But nobody mentions that. The hardworking men and women, the hardworking progressives who love people like Nancy Pelosi and Maxine Waters, who work their butts off every single day in Congress.
Do they really?
No, I mean this.
Okay.
They are the ones that sweat and toil while Trump goes out with a woman 40 years his junior.
40 years? She's not.
For 30, 40 years, he's fooling around on her with women that nobody else would touch, to be honest with you. But 30 and 40 years his junior, and he is nerve to knock women that want to just help progressive, minority, oppressed people.
Well, the way you help is to not have these very high minimum wages that people can't afford to pay that give people jobs. I mean, you just talked about free market economics. So how are you going to say free market economics and at the same time say you got to have very high minimum wage? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It don't really add up.
Because what you're doing is you're piggybacking and blaming the poor. It's always the working people who build your roads, who make your dinners in restaurants, who clean your floors, who make sure the electric's turned on in your homes. It's always those people that get villainized if they want a $2 or $3 raise. But nobody on earth, when these businessmen take billions of dollars in golden parachutes, nobody on earth complains because everybody wants to get rich. And they figure, when I become rich, I don't want to pay taxes. They're fools. It's like winning the lottery. We have to stand up for the socialists in the United States who want to change our system into a system where even the poorest person will have human dignity.
All right. So if you can get a passport to this utopia you speak of, give me a passport too. I want to go visit and see how it is.
You want to go visit the passport? My last word, sir, is the Golden Gate State is open to you. Come on down and have a good time.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. And go Nancy. Go Nancy.
That guy's hilarious. I know he's just playing. Like, he's not really being serious. He's just a funny guy. But shout out to him. But yeah, I'm not going to San Fran. If I go to San Fran, I need to get a hazmat suit. I need to get a hard shell hazmat suit. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't want it to rip and then the plague seeps into my joint and then I mess around and, I'm sick with some kind of green boils on my face. I don't want that to happen. So I need a hard shell hazmat suit with the 15-foot galoshes, steel toe, all of that, because I don't want to have any kind of crazy disease come my way. It might get to the point where you got to get shots to go to California. Like if you want to go to Africa or somewhere, like some parts of Africa, you got to get shots. Yellow fever, malaria, you got to get shots now to go to San Francisco. It's crazy that it's going to be like that, but when you don't clean up garbage and human waste and all that kind of stuff, and you just let it mix together and ferment, you're going to have problems. But let's get to the next call. 843, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, this is Tyler. How we doing, buddy?
Everything's good, man. What's going on?
Just taking you in, man. That last call that was nice right there.
Oh yeah, funny guy.
He is. A little different accent for a San Francisco, what I was picturing, but
that's right.
I digress. Hey, on this Iraqi airstrike, just want to remind people, like, we don't really have anything to fear. The people on the coast, they all forget about people in Southern Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia, Georgia, Texas. We'll take care of some problems if problems come in the country. They don't know that people like us exist and that they outnumber people like your last caller by far. There are real people that do love this country and will die for it. But all of us forget that sometimes, because when we see on the news, even CBS, and tomorrow we'll see it on Sunday morning, they'll portray it like we got to be scared, and really be on alert again. But America is well armed and well prepared, more than people think. And hopefully with what's going on in Virginia, with the recent, gun things and the sheriff stepping up, I mean, you might as well draw a line from Roanoke straight down the line and cut it off. I mean, people in Bedford, Martinsville, Galax, all that way, Bristol, they ain't having any of that. They're not going to, that's not even going to be possible. And that being, who you are. So keep it up. God bless America. And just, everybody relax out there. We're going to be just fine.
That's right, man.
That's all I got to say, bro.
100%.
Keep it up.
Thank you, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, ABL. Take care, bro.
Great call. Said it perfectly well. I don't got nothing to worry about. Come to Virginia. Like, I've been all over the state. I've been everywhere all over Virginia. And I know how people are. Like, this whole thing with the guns is not going to go the way that they anticipate coming from D.C. Like, people like Ralph Northam and all of them, they're from, like, over there. Northam is not from D.C., but he's from, like, Eastern Shore. Like, that's a whole different world. You might as well be in Delaware, Maryland or something. You're not into the interior of the state. You're not out west. Once you start to get to the hills, like, they may go to Richmond and stop. They may go a little bit down 81 from D.C. and stop. They may go to Lynchburg. Not even that far. They might go to, like, Harrisonburg and stop. They don't go into the state, really. But let me get to my next call. All right, call you on the line. 617, who am I speaking to?
Yeah, what's going on, man? This is Ivan.
All right, Ivan, what's happening?
I have to give it to you. You got a good show for the people that they're starving for to hear about good things about Trump. I guess that's all the money's made. But anyway, first of all, do you know why Trump left the JCPO?
No, why you leave?
You know why the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action? Do you know why Trump left that?
No, I said no. Tell me why.
Oh, why?
I mean,
Trump
just tell me why.
Iran?
We don't got all night. Let's not start.
Okay, you don't have night. Okay, I don't know. Maybe because he wanted to accelerate what Obama did, and he look at his job as some celebrity status. He never looked at his job as a serious issue, and now he's seeing the job as the job is a serious job. It's not a job that you don't screw around.
So why do you think that's the reason?
Well, why? Look, all countries agree. I mean, Germany, France, Italy, England, Spain. We brought China and Russia into the joint. That there are, you could say, Russia is an adversary, and China is a country that is very difficult to deal with. And they all comply with the Iranian deal. They all say, yeah, we keep it on check. We want to make sure they don't do what they have to do. So he left by leaving this deal. It made things more difficult for himself, extremely highly difficult. He just doesn't understand that. I think now he understands it, but it's too late. He has no leverage.
Now, do you think the Iranians are following the deal? Or no?
Yes, they were following. They were because after the United States left. But let me explain to you. The reason the United States left and they put sanctions. Why are you going to put sanctions against a country that is complying with the deal? What is the reason?
I mean, there was already sanctions on them, wasn't it? Like, there was no sanctions on Iran at all before?
No, there was no sanctions. They removed. They put certain sanctions, but most of the sanctions were removed when they come through economic sanctions. They were removed.
Why did Obama give the money in cash?
This is another issue that your listeners. I saw a couple. I didn't write the name.
Sir. The question, sir. We don't got time for trying to talk about the listeners.
That was their money. They giving the money. That was their money.
No. Sir, listen, sir. Listen to me. What I'm saying. Why did he give the money in cash?
Let me explain to you. Because there's nowhere to transfer money. There's no wire transfer to any bank in Iran because of the sanctions.
Oh, okay. I thought it was no sanctions though.
So you believe that because you remove economic sanctions, we're going to have a banking structure in 2 weeks? I mean, come on now. I mean,
so there were sanctions or not?
But look, one thing, you remove economic sanctions so they could do business with other countries through our banking system. That takes time to build up. You don't bring a banking system overnight. They have sanctions since 1979. Do you know what happened with the hostages during the hostages crisis in 1979? Do you aware of that when Jimmy Carter was president?
Yeah.
So you're aware of that. So we put extreme sanctions to them, and we still kept those sanctions all the way until 2006 when Obama we cannot keep doing this. Why we doing this? If we don't deal with them one-on-one, we're going to be more difficult. So we got to sit down and talk to them. and we need to bring our allies in, and we need to bring Russia and China in. We need to bring the superpowers. So we all agree that so they could do business, because it's all up. They want to do all business. They all want to do business.
Okay, so my question, sir, listen to what I'm saying.
I just told you,
sir.
they don't
No,
have a
sir.
banking structure.
I've not asked the question yet. So let me just answer the question.
So what's the question?
Now, were the banking sanctions ever lifted?
Yes. So let me explain to you. So the money could move from to the American. So okay, let me explain to you. Do you know which is the currency to do international transaction? Which one is the currency?
Dollar.
So therefore, and who holds the dollar?
The U.S.
Now I just answered your question. So next, I'm
so
gonna,
no, you did not answer the question. The question was, sir, listen to me, sir.
Okay.
Were the sanctions on banking ever lifted? Yes or no?
Through the
yes or no question, sir.
System.
I'm muting you. I want you to answer yes or no.
So now you're gonna tackle your
sir. Listen to what I'm. Were the sanctions on banking against Iran ever lifted? Yes or no?
Not all of them. Like, I'm gonna come back.
Oh, okay. So there were still sanctions. So there were still sanctions after the Iran nuclear deal. All right then. Thank you.
Let me explain
Move on. Move on. Move on.
Let me explain to you. Go right now. Go to a Western Union right now. Even when the sanctions were lifted, go to a Western Union or to a MoneyGram. Let me see you find Iran to do a wire transfer. You can. They don't have the infrastructure. The banking infrastructure technology takes time. Gee.
So
I know you want to win this argument, but
no.
You're just wrong.
The technology is not important. The technology is not important. The point is that.
So how are you going to transfer the money?
Listen to what I'm saying. The technology is not important because the sanctions are still there. The sanctions are still there. It don't matter. If they had it, it still wouldn't matter because the sanctions are still there. They've not been lifted.
So how you transfer the money? How you transfer the money when there's no MoneyGram?
It don't matter. You can have a MoneyGram everywhere. It could be. Let's listen to what I'm saying. It could be a MoneyGram everywhere all over the country. It don't matter because it's still sanctions. Simple, but move on.
Well, even like I'm saying, so that means you got to build the infrastructure.
Sir, look, listen. You're muted. I need you to move on because you're not going to talk about this all day. I proved that you were incorrect. There were still sanctions. It never got lifted. It's simple. It's not that hard to have the technology. Like you have Western Union in Somalia, Nigeria. Like I'm talking about third world, dirt poor countries. Okay, so I don't want to hear this whole thing about they don't have the technology. They can build nuclear weapons, but they can't get a Western Union. Come on, man, be for real. And it don't even matter if they did have the technology there because they still have sanctions against them that prevents them from engaging in international banking. Simple, which was there before the nuclear deal, during the deal, and after the deal. So they did have sanctions on them, even with the deal in place. But go ahead.
Okay, so you're completely wrong. I just told you. And you want to know more why they sent it on cash? Go to, it was a hearing. It was a hearing in Congress. Why they did it that way? And they were all these Republicans attacking the Obama administration. Now, they had to send all these three planes with billions of dollars. The problem, the question that I have for the administration, who got the money in the other end? They never reported. That's questionable. They never reported who got the money from Iran.
Okay, that's nice, but what's your next?
So that's questionable.
You got time's wasting.
Huh?
Time's wasting. Go ahead. Keep next thing.
Okay, so now you getting educated. So you're getting educated. You don't know much.
All right, we don't got that much time.
Okay, so in January 30, President Trump told the CIA told Trump that Iran was not rebuilding the nuclear capability. They're obeying the bill, the deal. They're following through. Even the EEA, the International Agency of EEA. I mean, I don't know what. But they came. The inspector came and reported. The report is online. You could look it up. They say that they are following the deal, and Trump said that they don't know what they're doing, that our intelligence should go back to school. That's insulting to our intelligence. And also, that's one thing. And also, do you believe that Iran is going to feel comfortable with this situation?
With what we're talking about? With what?
Well, I mean, if Iran is following the deal, and the President of the United States is saying that it's not, his own intelligence, U.S. intelligence, saying that they're following the deal. Look. this guy put himself in a very bad position.
Now, if they're following the deal, then why are they still funding terror all over the Middle East?
Well, I'm going to explain that.
Okay, so explain it in like 30 seconds because we got to go.
Okay. So Iran and Iraq, there's a lot of things that you have to understand. There's tribalism, you got Shia, the Sunni, you got different types of Shia that they don't get along.
So in 15 seconds, why is the Iranian government funding terrorism all over the place, even though you have the nuclear deal?
They do. Well, some of them fight those militia groups to fight Iraqis because the United States supported Iraq and Saddam Hussein in the 1980s.
How about Yemen?
It was a war for 7 years. So that it's true. They fight Hezbollah and then they do a lot of bad things. But let me ask you this. So if, let's say they're doing this thing, let's say they're following the militia group here and there.
Okay, I'm sorry, but that's...
Let me ask you this.
Listen. We're at the end of our time. I'm going to get to the next call. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
So now you have to hang up.
All right. Thank you for the call. Thank you to Alvin for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. But yeah, it's like, okay, the reason why, like, if you didn't catch that throughout that, the reason why Obama gave Iran the money on a bunch of pallets and stuff in cash is because through sanctions, Iran was not able to participate in the international banking system. They couldn't get a wire transfer of the money. That's why they had to send it on the plane through cash. They could not get a wire transfer because of sanctions. And that was still there. There's plenty of sanctions against Iran that have been going on for a while. Okay. Now, there were certain sanctions from the UN that have been removed, but from the US and the EU, it's still there. Missile and arms industry, the nuclear industry, energy, banking, shipping, trade, insurance, arms, all of that. There's sanctions against them. You can't just, come on, man, let's stop playing. But let's get to the next call. 409, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Mike from South Texas.
All right, man.
How's it going, ABL?
Everything's good, man. What's happening?
Oh, man, just watching your show, man. I love watching your show. Yeah, man, how's it going? In response to some of your callers you had earlier, you had one from, San Francisco. You had the other guy. I assume he's an Islamic type of guy.
Could be.
He could be. Definitely in defense of, in my opinion, the enemies of America. But, as you say, I digress. But I just wanted to say, I just wanted to say hello to ABL, man, and I wish you God bless and Happy New Year, brother. Take care.
Well, thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Same to you.
All right, man.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. And thank you all for joining. I definitely appreciate you. Please like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff for me. 1,000%. Yeah, they couldn't do the digital transfer because Iran was cut off from the international banking system due to sanctions. And those sanctions are still there today. So this whole thing about, there weren't no sanctions, that's not even true. 215, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, hi, this is Darren. How you doing, bud?
Everything's good, man. About yourself?
Good. Yeah, I just want to say that we still owe Iran 444 Tomahawks, one for every day they held our people hostage.
There you go. Yes.
We still owe them Tomahawks because, man, they treated them people so bad, and a lot of them were innocent. You know what I mean? They were just like office workers and all, and they held them for 444 days.
That's right.
So we still owe them, man. No matter what this new guy that we just killed does or did, we still owe them for that 444 days, and I'll never forget them days. Every day on CNN, the new number popping up, 235, 320, 444 days. So we still owe them a nice little payback.
Oh, yeah. And no question about that, 100%.
Okay, bud. Thanks a lot, man.
All right. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Absolutely, bud. Later.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Hey, is my sound all right? And is my microphone loud enough compared to the callers? because it can be kind of hard to gauge that. Like, I can't hear myself through my headphones. I just hear the callers. Because if I were to hear myself, it would cause reverberation, and it just kind of make the stream weird. So hopefully the sound and everything is good money. If it's not, you guys let me know. But let me get to the next call. And thank you for calling. The number to call is 434-658-1220. I'm looking right here because normally a camera right there, but I changed it to where the camera is right here. So pardon that, just awkward. But let me get to the next call. All righty, let's go. 559, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is with the stream here. This is David too in Central California.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, I wanted to comment. I did briefly live in San Francisco and work in San Francisco. It's actually a pretty capitalistic type system that's actually working in spite of the socialist. They kind of bolt on top of them.
You kind of breaking up. You're kind of breaking up a little bit. You said it's what now?
It's actually more like a hyper-capitalistic system.
Okay.
That which has socialist policies sort of work on top, sort of bolted on top that seem to work in spite of themselves. So, for example, like you said about the housing price, it's very tightly controlled there with zoning and other requirements that keep the prices higher. And so what happens? Oh, go ahead.
I'll say, oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah. But like if you have a laundromat or something like that, you can't just knock it down and a condo there to make less thing. You'd have to have an impact survey. You'd have to have the shadows for the zoning. They have special city banks that you can only really use if you are a resident of San Francisco. You have a card, and you go there and you use those type of banks. So they sort of support their own infrastructure their own way. You know, they have the major tech companies there that people want to live there, so have the money flowing in for there. And it's sort of this strange system where they have this, and then they say, well, you know, we want to support all these programs, all this stuff. They're not really building these housing. They sort of are not really doing it, you know?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. It's sort of like one of those things. So I said almost in LA, it's almost except they have the abilities more to do it. But what I noticed is it's just these rules that I think are really in the way. So, for example, take you 3 to 6 months to evict someone out of a house. So, have that type of situation. You need to get first and last month's rent. You have to get a security deposit, and you have to have good credit. And it's a lot of people, and I think those type of rules are really what's causing the homeless problem. And there is a huge homeless problem. I see it all the time. So, the statement that the guy made earlier saying that there isn't homeless people is completely ridiculous. If you go anywhere in LA, not just Skid Row, you're going to see the situation unfolding right in front of your face. So I wanted to comment on that because I see on both sides of it. I travel too, and I see them. So I call in, and that's it.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Oh, for sure, sir.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. Let's get to the next call here. 323 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes, 323. Who am I speaking to?
My name is Mike. How's it going, ABL?
Everything's great. How about yourself?
Doing well. Thank you, sir. I just wanted to call in real quick just to say I'm here in Southern California, and I just appreciate all your work. And I just wanted to let you know that.
Well, thank you, man. It means a lot to me. You know, I'm sorry that you got to be out there in the middle of it, but I'm glad I'm glad you're hanging in there, man. Thank you for your support.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate it. Love your videos. Watch every single one. And I just wanted to let you know that. So have a wonderful night. I'll keep watching the videos. And, yeah, appreciate you, bro.
Thank you for the call.
Thank
Definitely
you.
appreciate it. All right now.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. Let's get to the next call here. And let's do 415 here on the line. Who am I speaking to? 415.
Is this ABL?
Yes, it is. Who am I speaking to?
You're talking to Scott here in San Francisco. I was actually just wondering if you heard about the prank call with Maxine Warder from the Russians pretending to be Greta Thunberg.
I did hear about that. Now, I didn't really read into it a lot. I didn't like check out the details, but I saw that headline. Like, she was trying to get dirt on Trump or something like that. I didn't really.
But so my point is basically, if Trump basically isn't that basically what they're accusing Trump of doing by kind of dealing with foreigners to get dirt? So isn't Maxine Waters just as guilty as Trump is right now?
100%. And then it said it was Russian pranksters. So you're getting phone calls from Russians to get dirt on Trump, talking about what's going to be a taped Trump confession. So, it's funny how these people on the left all the time, it's do as I say, never as I do. I could do whatever I want, and that's no problem. But if you do it, how about take this impeachment?
Definitely. And I have to say, basically, I'm a little bit older black male than yourself, and I like the fact that you and, King Face are doing what you're doing because, believe it or not, I honestly think that if they did get rid of the what's the institution that basically we don't vote for the president, that AOC wants to get rid of, the Electoral College, I think you'd find out that California's a lot more conservative in San Francisco than you think.
Really?
I talked to other construction workers about Trump and what he's doing. And right now, my union is basically having a hard time because if these Democrats want these open borders, it's like kind of going against our union. So it's a really big discussion right now, So they better, Maxine, they better get all their stuff together. But once again, ABL, thanks for doing a good job keeping the people informed because, we need more people out there like you.
Hey, I thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. You have a great day.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. Yeah, I wouldn't think that you would have that in San Francisco, like conservative people. But, hey, I guess, everybody exists everywhere. And I know California, they got a lot of people in California that are really conservative that, they really, don't like what's happening with their place. Just like Virginia, it's not a liberal state. It's just Northern Virginia, a lot of liberals up there. And that's pretty much what's driving the whole conversation. So I feel them on this whole situation 1,000%. But let me get to the next call here, and that's going to be 203 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Andy from Connecticut. How you doing?
Everything's great, man. About yourself?
Good. Hey, I just wanted to bring up a point, kind of remind everybody, you don't seem to hear it often, is that that embassy is our considered U.S. soil, and these guys are Iranians. They're Persians attacking United States citizens on United States soil in a country that's ruled by Iraqis who are Arabs, and the Arabs and the Persians hate each other, and they've hated each other for thousands of years. They've been at war many, many times. And Iran was a happy, prosperous place in the 50s and 60s. And when the fundamentalists took over in the 70s, it went down the drain. They're good people, but the bullies are in charge. And these guys have got to go. And I don't see this drone strike as any different than any of the other thousands that Obama undertook in his 8 years. And the way these terrorists operate, we may see a response, next week or in 6 years. So nothing's different. Nothing's changed. And that's my 2 cents. So what do you think?
I think you're right about that. I mean, this has been going on for a long time, which is why I think the media's reaction to it was just overblown because it's nothing different. I mean, there's always been these little proxy wars and these little battles and skirmishes. It's been like that for a long time, for years and years now. Way before Trump, way before Obama. This has been going on for a long time, so it's not anything new at all. That's just how it is over there. And quite frankly, they've been fighting over there in that particular part of the world since the beginning of man. Ottoman Empire, the ancient Persians, it's nothing new at all.
Yeah. Hey, Anthony, you're a smart guy. I'd love to hear your opinion. What do you think of the fact that all these wars where we're urged to pull our troops out, and we do, like Vietnam, we were winning, but it was an ugly war on TV, so the Democrat Party defunded it and we left. Millions of people went to re-education camps and prison, and now it's a communist country. Same thing in the Korean Peninsula. We fought to a draw, and we left. North Korea is in charge. But everywhere that we stay, meaning Germany, Japan, South Korea, everywhere that the United States stays for decades, they turn into these economic powerhouses of freedom. And you hear so many people telling us to get out of Iraq, get out of Afghanistan, but why wouldn't we see it through for the next 30 or 40 years and turn it into a South Korea, a Taiwan, a Germany, or a Japan?
That's a good question. South Korea, I think, is a little bit different than what's happening right now in the Middle East. In the Middle East, it's not going to ever change, because there's so much differences in the tribes and the neighboring nations. It's just not the same. Like the Korean Peninsula, they were generally peaceful people for the most part. Like they were on their peninsula minding their own business, and then other nations came in from, far away or not that close, and just tried to impose whatever. Like North Korea with the whole the Soviet system, and then in the South, they sided with us. So it's not the same thing as like the Afghanistan, where you have different tribes, you got different nations, you have fundamentalists religiously that are going to be there. Like I said from the beginning, they've been fighting in that particular part of the world since the beginning of man. If we're over there trying to, like, I guess you would call it nation build, it's not going to be successful as it was in maybe even in Japan or South Korea, because of the history and of the current problems that exist that we can't change by being there, spending money into a bottomless pit. It's always going to be terror attacks. It's never going to change. But we were able to successfully make change in Eastern Asia, not in Middle East. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, good point. True. All right, man. Happy New Year. Keep up the good work, and I look forward to another show.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that was a great question, though. Why not just stay over there and make it work? But, it just ain't going to – it's always going to be fighting over there. But the best we can do is just try to mitigate the damage, maybe. But beyond that, you're not going to be able to make Dagestan into South Korea. It just ain't going to happen. $682, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
What's up, ABL?
Everything's good, man. What's happening?
What's up, ABL? You all right?
Everything's great. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. You're putting on a good show. I like it.
Oh, thank you.
Put out the good word. What do you think about the way we cook salami? You're supposed to salt cure it.
I don't know anything about that.
I'm messing with you. But what do you think about do you think their cyber warfare stands a chance against us?
Oh, you talking about Iran?
Iran? Yeah.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Nah. I mean, it'd be more of an annoyance than anything else. I think cyber warfare, you got to worry about China, maybe even North Korea, but not Iran. Nah, I don't think so. But you never know. It could just be you got some people over there that know a little bit what they're doing. They come from other countries and they do something, but I don't think so. And I think ours would trump theirs, so they probably wouldn't even want to go down that route. Yeah.
Exactly. We created cyber warfare. We created the internet. Right. Who's going to beat us?
Exactly.
Good luck. So, anyway, I just want to say, keep up the good word. Keep it up. Keep going on. What you're doing.
Thank you for the call, man.
Have a good night.
Appreciate you.
Yep. Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. Shout out to the caller. All right, caller. This Saudi Arabia?
ABL.
What's happening?
This is Osama.
Osama, what's going on, man?
I'm fine. How you doing?
Everything's great, man. Can't complain.
It's a great show tonight, and as everybody know, President Trump did what he used to do. Soleimani just got fired, so there's nothing new. Anyway, for those who don't know Soleimani, at least from the Middle East perspective here, he's known as a killer and a genocider, and He's been monitored for a couple of years. He's been going Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Iran, also Yemen. So he's been monitored. But the thing is, President Trump took the right decision, not to escalate more and more, because this guy here was planning an attack in the region, an American interest in Lebanon and Syria and also in Yemen. So what he did was a good and a correct call. He's not preventing war. War's not going to start. How Iran is going to respond, I don't think it will be that much. Maybe at least, a couple of attacks or suicide bombers or so. Other than that, it won't escalate. Plus, you cannot leave what's going on in Libya. Just yesterday, the Turkish parliament allowed, or at least, they gave the green light to the Turkish army to go into Libya. So that's an invasion right there. So both of them are related. So I believe that's it. Soleimani got what he deserved. He's a terrorist. He's the second terrorist after Bin Laden, as President Trump said. And plus, this shouldn't be happening if Obama didn't give the Iranians the money, because they wasted all the money in supporting and improving all of the tactics, and they're exporting the revolution, the Iranian revolution. There's nothing Islamic about that. They're taking Islam as the face, but they are showing the real Persian face, actually. And as you just mentioned, in Nigeria, they have the proxy armies in Nigeria, in Yemen, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Al-Hashd al-Sha'bi in Iraq. So they're almost everywhere. But they are cut now. They are dead.
Yes.
By the death of Soleimani, it's game over for them.
So what is the reaction like in Saudi Arabia to the news about Soleimani?
Well, things are calm here. Things are calm. Nobody wants war. We didn't need anything we didn't need war to start. But at least I can show some sympathy to those who died in Syria, because the killer, which is Soleimani, he's the one after all of these migrants in Turkey and Europe and all over Europe and some areas of the States. He's the one behind that.
Oh.
He's the one. Yeah, he's the one who started the killings and slaughtering. All the people ran away from Syria.
Right. This whole thing with all these insurgent armies, and you got all the people just fleeing their homes, and they're flooding into Europe, and they're flooding everywhere. He's a big part of the reason why that's happening.
He's the one. Yeah, he's the one behind all of that. He's the one, because President Obama left a vacuum there. He left a vacuum there. So who's going to fill that vacuum? Of course, Iran.
I see.
And he's there. And whenever the United States supports an elected government, elected Iraqi government, he will come and he will shake all that around just to put his guy in power.
Right.
So that was what's going on in the whole region. Other than that, they don't have nothing to do.
Okay, I see. People over here, they're kind of scared. They're talking about World War III, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that I don't think anybody wants that, even Iran. Iran, they want to spread their religion, what they claim is religion. They want to spread their imperialism throughout the Middle East, but I don't think they really want to go through with a world war or any kind of bigger escalation, because it didn't mean destruction for them and their people.
No. There's nothing to worry about. And the way that you celebrated, and we were glad, or we were all glad about the killing of Osama bin Laden. Okay, so now I'm going to celebrate, and I'm happy and glad that Soleimani is gone.
Definitely, absolutely.
Stay safe and take care.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Anytime.
All right. Shout out to my man Osama from Saudi Arabia. Great dude. You know, he been watching the show for a long time. He's called in before. Great dude over in Saudi. So now you get a different point of view rather than an American. You get somebody over there in the Middle East that is telling you, okay, this is what it is, this is what it's not. So, boom. Alrighty. But let me get to my next call here. Let's go 361. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, this is Daniel from Houston, Texas. How's it going, ABL?
Everything's good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I just want to let you know I enjoy your show. I'm a subscriber. We appreciate what you're doing down here in Texas. And I just would like to remind all the naysayers out there about Iran's involvement against us, the United States. I mean, they've been involved in a lot of terrorist attacks. I shouldn't have to remind you about the 1983 bombing of the U.S. Marine barracks in Beirut. That killed 241 U.S. service members. The 96 Khobar Towers bombing in Saudi Arabia, that killed 19 U.S. Air Force personnel. And Soleimani, that's what I want to call him. He was a bad dude. He got what he deserved, but for people out there, they're saying, "Oh, I'm scared," or "We're going to get drafted. We're going to go to war." I don't think we're going to go to war over one guy. Now, mind you, had we have drone strike the Ayatollah, yeah, maybe, yeah, I might be concerned about going to war, but is the retaliation going to be severe, as they say? Maybe, but don't underestimate the United States. We got the biggest, baddest military in the world. We have incredible technology. Everything's going to be well. It's going to be all right. But before I leave, Anthony, I want your opinion. What do you think about the actress Rose? Let me know if I pronounce it right. Rose McGowan?
McGowan, yeah.
Yeah. She said right here that she was apologizing to Iran. We disrespected your country, your flag. And there she is posting a GIF showing emojis with the Iranian flag. What do you think about these people? Because the people in Iran, I've seen the tweets at ABL. They are celebrating. They're thanking the president. They're thanking him for this man's death. But people over here on the other side, it's like Trump is damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. What is your opinion on this?
Yeah, I saw that whole thing, and it's pretty weird. It's like, okay, somebody like Rose McGowan, I don't know if that's Trump derangement syndrome or what that is, but it's pretty strange that you would apologize to Iran like that. And she had this kind of fake flag with like a sun and a cartoon lion. It's like, what are you doing? It just was pretty weird. And I think that people are so bent on trying to say things that are against Trump or believe in whatever the mainstream media tells them, that they get caught up in it and they start to believe it. So maybe she was just scared, just trying to plead for forgiveness so she wouldn't get bombed on. But it's like, look, you got to just understand everything's going to be okay. Turn the TV off, turn your Twitter off. It's not going to be that bad. You'll be just fine. There's no point in, putting out some kind of, apology to Iran. It wouldn't save you anyway, so there's no purpose in doing it. Just relax, take a chill pill. You'll be all right.
Exactly. And before I leave, one last thing. Everyone's complaining that Trump did not get congressional approval. Why? Chuck Schumer was complaining, he should have told us. Why? So they can go tell the enemy? No. Trump has plenty of leakers inside of his administration. Why? You don't need to tell them anything. Nobody complained when Obama eliminated Osama bin Laden. Correct me if I'm wrong, he didn't get congressional approval. He just went out and did it. Nobody complained, but when Trump did it, it's bad. They're apologizing. It is just pathetic.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
like I said,
there was no need to get any kind of approval because it's not a declaration of war. So they're not even really correcting what they're saying.
Yeah, everything's going to be all right. But I just want to let you know, Anthony, we enjoy your content, and we appreciate everything you're doing. And stay safe. You have a good night.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, there's no purpose in, there's no point in getting any kind of approval because it's not declaration of war. You would think you're right to be able to do that particular thing. You don't have to go out and be like, oh, can I please do it? And like you said, all they're going to do is just tell the enemy anyway, tip them off. And we don't have no time for that. We don't got no time for them trying to be sabotaging stuff. It's just, come on, man. 865 on the line. Who am I speaking to? All right, hold on. Okay, I don't know what happened with that. I couldn't. It didn't pick up. That was kind of weird. Let's go to the next call. Alrighty, let's go. 712. You on the line? Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
712.
Oh yeah, hi Anthony. This is Al with from Iowa. Listening to your broadcast, and number one, we'll start out with I guess the gentleman from San Francisco, which is what I've read. It's kind of mostly like a human waste dump area, so I don't think I want to go there. You're right about that. I would definitely wear a hazmat suit if I went there.
That's right.
Yeah. Now I'm going to talk about a little bit about the Iran thing. Number one, I was over there between 2004 to 2006, and this dude, we knew that the Iranians were kind of involved in some stuff that was going on over there, and couldn't prove it or anything, but you knew they were involved. So number one, I'm glad he's dead. He deserves it, and he can go get his whatever versions it is. So start out. I wanted to start with that. President Trump was right on this. I'd even agree if President Obama would have done it. So to me, it was the right thing to do. Obama had a chance, I guess, the way I understood it, and even Bush might have had a chance, the way I understood it. Why they didn't do it, they probably listened to the State Department, which we already know. The State Department runs their own or foreign policy, according to what they say, instead of us electing an official, a president, to direct the our foreign policy.
That's right.
Would you agree with that or not?
Yeah, it sounds about right to me. Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, just like this impeachment fiasco that's going on, it's actually a Spygate. The way I kind of look at things is, my God, I mean, here you had the State Department, the CIA, the FBI, and even the Democratic higher in salons that basically started with the Ukraine thing, and Ukraine, I should say, not Ukraine, and basically started this whole hoax of this collusion case. And yet, you were right. Here's Pelosi, and if I remember right, Schiff was one of them too, that basically got calls from Russia, for instance. Let me see, there was something that was in, if I remember, Schiff was Ukraine's, that a radio host called him, and here he is doing this collusion or whatever it is. Why shouldn't they be charged?
Very good question.
I mean, they're doing this to Trump. Why shouldn't? To me, is that, hey, we got some serious problems here. At least we got a president. I mean, my God, I don't think I could honestly do. I told that to my wife the other day. Is that I was kind of feeling down, but I said I don't know how I would react with such negative media at me all the time. I don't know if maybe I would have to wave the white flag. But I'm glad that I am proud of our president, and I've been following him. I know that you have been to the White House, what I've seen, and I mean, I've never got to meet the man personally. Have you, or did you just be there for when he was doing the Black Conservative conference?
Well, I've not actually met him directly. I was there twice at the White House. I was there for the Black Conference, 2 years in 2018 and 2019, and then I went to a Trump rally here in Tennessee, and that was great. 10,000 people, everybody's on the same page. This whole thing with Trump is much bigger than him. It's a whole movement that has started, and it's helps a lot of people kind of open their eyes to see what's really going on with the world. Because the media, they're telling you one thing, but once you are able to have a different leader in there that tells you what's really going on and is able to help you see things differently from a big platform like that, it really changes the whole way the country operates. In my humble opinion, it's changed for the better.
Well, yes. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I know I've seen you one time. You had a video that you came out with, and I sent you something. I basically said, just keep going, just keep up the good work. You're feeling down like, am I going to make a difference? Yes, you are going to make a difference as long as you keep doing what you're doing. Okay? That's what I want to really say is that I'm proud of what you're doing. I want to give you my support as much as possible, and I just want to say from an old veteran here that I thank you for doing your service to this country. And belated Merry Christmas, and you have a Happy New Year.
Thank you for the kind words, man. It means a lot to me. Thank you for your service, man, because I couldn't do what I do without you, man. So thank you.
No, I don't need to be thank you on it. It's something that I've got even a grandson that's in the military right now. So if they called me up, I'd do it again. So don't. I thank you. And never forget, that's probably my thing to you, or to the people that are listening to you, people are watching. Thank you for what you're doing.
All right, now
you have a nice evening, sir.
Thank you for the call.
You bet. Bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Hey, that means a lot, man. I'm not just saying that just because he was right there on the phone. That means a lot to me, because I'm just a guy, talking. So for somebody out there that really was out in the mix, doing something, protecting the country, it means a lot for him to be like, no, thank you. So thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. But let me get to the next call here, and we're gonna go 601. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? And let's go. Hold on. Why it's not letting me? 865 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, my man. It's Aaron up here in Sevierville.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Man, it's good to see you back on here again on a Saturday night. I love to see you on Wednesday and Saturday. As usual, you're dedicated. I love it.
Absolutely.
Thank you for doing what you're doing.
No problem.
I want to just touch on real quick about Rose McGowan, whatever her crazy name is. She's just another Jane Fonda. Everybody should look back. If you don't know about the Jane Fonda trader, Vietnam trader back in the day, total commie trader, just look back again. She's just another one of those.
Mm.
Look at history. It's just repeating itself.
Yes, that's definitely what it looks like over here.
That's all I can see from here. Where I'm sitting in Tennessee, East Tennessee, I know you're just south of me.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God you come to Tennessee. I know you're West Virginia boy, but welcome to Tennessee, ABL. We welcome you with open arms. World War III, it ain't going to happen. There's going to be a couple more strikes. They're going to take a couple more crazy terrorist psychopaths out, just like they have in the last couple of years. If you dig deep enough, all these strikes that they've been sending from the ocean, from the ships over there, striking some places, some compounds, whatever. They just getting rid of some trash. No problem. Don't worry, people. There ain't no draft coming. Don't worry about it. Our boy Trump has got it under control.
That's right. That's right. I'm not worried about anything. Everything's going to be just fine.
Just fine. Absolutely. Joe Biden is playing the dementia. I'm telling you, he's playing the dementia game. He don't want to be wrapped up in all this charisma with his boy. Burisma didn't hire his boy, ABL. Burisma hired Joe Biden. His boy was on the tab as the name of the game so Joe could get the money. Let's wait a month or two and it'll all come out. Don't worry. We'll all see the truth pretty soon.
I think you're right about that. I mean, it makes sense to me because, you know, why would Hunter be getting, like, what does Hunter have to do with oil or gas or anything to get that kind of money? You know, there's obviously some pay for play going on and some shady deals happening. That's pretty clear. I mean, especially
100%.
Especially since Joe Biden was going to Ukraine as a special envoy at that particular point in time. So if you're going to Ukraine all the time, you're going to Kiev like 13, 14 times, and all of a sudden here comes this big deal, and then you go over there to defend that deal by threatening to fire the prosecutor. I mean, it seems like you got a personal interest in that money and the whole situation rather than it just being about your son. So that does make sense.
Oh, imagine that. And, hey, guess what, ABL? Joe Biden's brother, James, I believe his name's James, got $1 billion, $1.5 billion, something or other, crazy amount, billions. All y'all in the chat, check it out. He got a huge contract for construction to build some homes over in the Middle East. Old dude ain't got no history in construction. He don't know nothing about construction. But just so happened, quote unquote, after Joe Biden come over there and started rapping and a chapping, he got a big old contract too. So guess what happened there? Booty ball. Yeah. Check it out, y'all.
Definitely. I got to look into that because it's pretty interesting. You know, you're seeing what's really going on. You're seeing the real DC rather than what they want to tell you is going on in the media.
Exactly. It's all a facade. They're just selling you lies every day. I hate to say it, but the left has just slid in iniquity. It's just a den of iniquity and evil.
Yeah.
There ain't no JFK Democrats left. That don't exist anymore, people. Forget it. There's no centrist. There's no left. There's no Democrats left. It's all leftist, liberal, crazy, lunatic, communist. That's all that's left, people. Deal with it. Wake up.
Absolutely, man. 100%.
And I just want, real quick, I just want to hit this. Ain't it weird that Biden, Pelosi, I don't know how many leftists has got kids or relatives in foreign companies dealing with oil or natural gas or whatever, fossil fuel type companies, and they all hate they're all against they're all green, they're all about green. Let's go green. Why is their family all into fossil fuels but they all want to go green over here? Don't that seem weird to you? I mean, that's what's going on.
Yeah, it does seem weird. Yeah, because you're talking about Joe Biden. I mean, this guy's over there getting money with Burisma Holdings, and they had the largest natural gas company in Ukraine. And Hunter was on the board of that up until recently, and talking about, like, in 2019, he was still on the board. So how are you going to go out there talking about, you know, green energy this, green energy that, we're going to get coal miners out of business, but you over here getting millions from natural gas at the same time when you say that?
Exactly.
Right.
fossil fuels over there, but green over here.
Right.
It's about where the money is over there, where the money is over here.
Right.
And I just want to touch on real quick, ABL, before I go off of here. Virginia, do not submit. The 20th, Richmond, make your stand. Do not submit. Do not bow down. It is time to take up your arms and show the force of the people's will.
That's right.
The Second Amendment will never die. It's in the Constitution. Long live the Constitution. Long live the United States. Long live ABL. Thank you for everything you do. I'm out. Thank you, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. Great call from my man up in Sevierville, Tennessee, East Tennessee. Great call. And thank you to everybody that super chatted thus far. I'm going to read you guys' comments right quick, and then we get to the next call. Shout out to Plastic Pellets, who says, Joe Biden eats fingers. Hilarious. Thank you for that. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Kalichi 007, who says, 077, who says, ABL, will Trump send blankets to Iran? I don't know what that's about, but thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Vermin Ator, who says, thank you for hanging up on Ivan. Happy New Year, ABL. Happy New Year to you as well. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to DA, who says they were sponsoring terror, talking about Iran most likely. Thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Matt, who says 18-year-olds have the right to vape. Trump is wrong. I mean, I think the whole thing with vaping is all the deaths that have happened. And it's like, okay, what are we going to do to stop the deaths? Now, of course, we got a lot of deaths from cigarettes and alcohol. I get it. But now you got these sudden deaths, because the thing about cigarettes and alcohol is like it's kind of a slow burn. It's not like, you smoke a cigarette and then you'll be dead in 2 months. That's happening right now with the vaping. So they're trying to figure out what's going on with that. I think the problem is the illegal Chinese cartridges, but I'm not a doctor, so I don't really know. Hopefully they'll tighten this whole thing up once they get a hold on all the recent deaths. But thank you for the donation. Shout out to Lee Street, who says, just got here. So what's your stance on this war? It won't be a war. I think it's a lot of fear mongering from people that just want to fear monger for whatever their particular reason may be, or those that are just overly cautious, kind of scaredy cats in my humble opinion. So there won't be a war. And I'm not for a war if there were to be one. But thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to my man Sushi, who says, fun fact, Iran has no aircraft carriers and no stealth aircraft. America has 20 aircraft carriers and 20 stealth bombers. Well, there you go. That seemed like a mismatch to me. Thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Crystal A for your donation. I appreciate you. And I think that is everybody for now. Let me go ahead and get back to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Let me get to the next call. And that will be 605. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Shout out to
ABL.
All righty. What's going on? Who am I speaking to?
Hey, speaking to Bear, I'm calling from South Dakota, man.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Oh, nothing much. Just want to tell you I appreciate what you do, man. Your content is off the chart. One of the few people that actually interacts with the audience. Really nice to see what you do and how you interact with us. So I want to tell you I appreciate you, brother.
Oh, no problem, man. Thank you for participating.
And just a quick thing, since we're talking about all the stuff that's going on overseas, I'm a recently retired veteran. I'm one of the ones that come from the 9/11 incident whenever I ran off and joined. And patriotism back then, whenever that happened, I remember my mom came in the room, and I was 18 years old, kicking me in the side like, wake up, we're at war. And I had no idea what was going on because I was out partying the night before. Mm-hmm. And she drugged me in the living room. And I saw what happened, and instantly I was moved. And felt like I had to do something, so immediately I ran off and I joined.
Oh, wow.
I had to go do something. And just recently, terminal now, just recently retired. And I look at all the stuff that's going on, and the funny thing is, from watching all the other YouTube channels, I see all these people who are cover this, cover that, because I like to watch people like you. It's the only way I get my news feed, because I just don't really watch the news. YouTube is my only way that I kind of get my feeds, because I don't trust mainstream media. I like you independent guys, because you're honest, and it's honest. But I saw one guy covered one thing, and he actually went on, and the number one Google thing, well, not the number one, it was like one of the major Google things, because it auto-populates, was how to dodge the draft. And that just blew my mind whenever I saw that, how to dodge the draft. People today, the patriotism is just not there. It just blows my mind away to think that that's how people are reacting. If you look at all the things that we've accomplished just in like the past month when it comes to combating terrorism, killing al-Baghdadi, that lasted all about 24 hours of getting any type of glory, and it was north and south, polar opposites of the support we got for it, and then all the contradiction that comes with it. Because if we stand up against terrorism, it's we're showing too much force, and if we back down from it, it's we're cowards and anything like that. And we just took out a major player. He was a big thing back in 2001 whenever I came in the service. He wasn't what he is today, but his name was there back in 2006 whenever we were really take hard hits and guerrilla warfare, and IEDs were blowing up all over the place, and we're just bouncing left, right, from here to there, back and forth. I just don't understand what's going on as far as us as American, if that's what you want to stay as we're American, as we're looking into it. I mean, when do we stand together and say, hey, we're American, we're gonna fight together as Americans? We're not. Who cares if we're a Democrat or Republican? As far as I'm concerned, there should only be one, and it's American.
That's a very good point. Some people don't have that sense of patriotism. They don't have a sense of nationalism, what it means to be an American. So when it comes down to things like this, they don't even really, they're not on the same page at all. They're just trying to look out for themselves, but not looking at themselves as part of a greater thing, as part of this great nation.
Say, hey, we're American. We're going to fight together.
Right.
I don't want to hold up your time. I just wanted to call in, tell you I appreciate you, and talk about that, and let other people get through, brother. I love what you do. I appreciate you.
I thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you, and for your service as well.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. Yeah, I mean, I did hear about that, about people trying to say they want to dodge the draft. Like I said earlier in the show, the Selective Service website actually crashed because there were so many millennials Googling, about the whole situation. People are scared. They're talking about World War III. See, you know what? A lot of this is just fear mongering from those that have power to disseminate information. They're talking about World War III's happening, Trump's, enraging Iraq, when that's not even really what's going on. They're not, even the Selective Service official Twitter said misinformation has been spreading, and that's what's caused the website to crash. People are talking about, the draft's happening tomorrow. It's like, I thought people could just look at a meme and take it for what it is as a meme and not take it seriously. People are taking these memes seriously, and they're really scared. And they're taking what the media says even more seriously. Therefore, people are just really afraid. But let me get to the next call here. Let's go. 719, you're on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hi, Stephanie from Colorado.
All righty. What's going on?
Oh, not a whole lot. I love your topic tonight. I'd just like to say, first of all, when they attacked our embassy, I don't care if they were walking by and just decided to do it or whatever. That was American soil. Right up front, that was an act of war on their part. period. But Trump, the way he did this was very smart. People are panicked about World War III. It's not going to happen. In fact, he just basically told Iran that don't count on Russia and China backing you, because I just informed them very quietly, I might add, that when I killed your second in command, that they weren't going to say anything about it. And without you having backing from Russia and China, you guys are just a hole in the ground anytime we see fit. So people need to, I agree with the one guy, a civil war would seem more possible right now than any kind of World War III. I've had family members going all the way back to World War One that fought in those wars, and my grandpa, he came back from World War II. He helped liberate the Jews out of the camps, and he came back broken. He was definitely not the same man that went down there, the horrors that he saw, and I'm really ashamed of people these days that they've forgotten. We're not teaching our young anymore. This is the kind of stuff that happens when you allow dictators to take control. I mean, nobody wants us over on foreign soil anymore. I mean, you know, we're losing too many young people, but unfortunately without them and the callers you've had tonight and family members that have had families in almost every war in our country, you know, they just aren't going to allow that to happen. They go over there and they die so that we won't have these kinds of war. But Trump was very diplomatic when he let people know that, especially Russia and China, after they did those, when they were doing the war games all together, Russia, China, and Iran, and people were freaking out. Like I said, Trump let them know right up front that Russia and China, they may play war games with you, but if you're expecting them to back you in a war, they're not going to do it, because they need Americans in the UK and Australia, and these are all pretty much allies. So Trump was pretty good about letting them know that, you know, very diplomatic for a change, too, that I will take out your highest in command and show you that we are not afraid of you. And I'm proud of this country for standing up against people like this. And I love your show, and thanks for, I agree with the other guy, thanks for letting people come on and talk, because we are the real people of America, and all these news stations and these other talk shows, they always have specific people on so that they can talk their talking points, but you kind of let us all just skirt around about what's annoying us, and so I agree. Thank you very much for your show, and I hope you had a great holiday.
Oh, I did. Thank you for that, and I definitely appreciate you for your call.
Okay, you have a wonderful evening.
All right, same to you.
Bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller, most certainly appreciate her. And thank you all for being here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Let me get to the next call. All right, Victor, what's happening?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
Yeah, so are you ready to be enlisted into World War III?
I'm good over here. I think I'm going to be just fine. Ain't going to be no World War III happening.
You know, I said this. I told this one person on Facebook the exact thing, that there's not going to be a World War III, and this whatever his name is, it was bound to happen when you killed hundreds of Americans, as well as had a genocide in Syria, and you've been on the terrorist watch list since 2 presidencies. It was going to happen.
Right. I mean, and this guy, you know, was killing his own people, you know, with the protesters in Iran. It's like this guy was just, and it was getting to the point where it was too much. So it was like, okay, something's got to be done.
Yeah, exactly. And I told this one person that it's kind of funny because when Obama killed Gaddafi, as you mentioned in your video, you haven't heard anything like this. There's no fear-mongering, no call for World War III, all that type of stuff. But with Trump, is all this fear mongering that's going on. And this guy told me that, well, it's because it's impeachment. I'm like, that's a moot point. Even if he wasn't impeached, y'all would still say that he was starting World War III. And then he gave me an article to show me why Bush and Obama didn't attack the Somali guy. And the article said reason why they didn't attack is because they didn't want retaliation. I'm like, wait, hang on. So you telling me that because he was killing hundreds of Americans and killing his own people, they didn't want to attack because it would cause retaliation? You make them sound like punks. Like, it's almost like saying that, oh, okay, we're going to keep letting you bully me because we don't want any retaliation from you. Are you kidding me? That really makes Americans sound weak, for real. And I'm glad that Trump kind of stepped up and did something to this guy.
Right.
Yeah. So I like to say that we lost a good guy before 2020, Don Imus.
Oh yeah, R.P. Don Imus. Yeah. I almost forgot. Yeah, people they got on that man, the nappy head. Remember that comment? Yeah.
Yeah. And so what's so funny is like this. When did this happen? Maybe 10 years ago or something.
It's been a long time ago. Yeah, it's been quite a while.
And black people were still mad at him for that.
And you know what? The funny part is that we say that kind of stuff all the time. That's where you got it from. You got it from us.
Yes, exactly. And in fact, when I went back and watched that clip, he referenced a Spike Lee movie. he referenced a Spike Lee movie that called the dark skinned girls jigaboos.
Yes, indeed. What was that? School Days or something?
Yeah, School Days. He made the dark skinned girls look ugly.
And that was and that comment that he said, Don Imus, that was in 2007.
Wow. So 12 years and you haven't went past it? Like, come on.
Right.
Yeah. And I remember the first time when I first heard it. And I'm like, oh crap, man, that's messed up. Then I actually saw the Rutgers and Tennessee game. I'm like, well, I mean, he was wrong for calling them hoes.
He was wrong, but I mean, it's like, come on, like number one, I mean, come on, you in the radio, it ain't like, but when you look at him, it's like, all right, well, I'm not looking at, beauty pageant models here. You understand what I'm saying? I'm looking at some rough girls. That's what he said. They look rough.
Yeah, and what's so funny is that once Don Imus said that, the Rutgers, the day after that match, made sure that they looked really good on camera. Yeah. And also, I remember D.L. Hughley made a joke around that. And nobody did have a problem with D.L. Hughley said. He said exactly this, that, Don Imus is wrong. There are not hoes. That's it. But of course, D.L. Hughley said that he was right, called them nappy-headed, but he was wrong for calling them H word. Right. But yet, though, nobody did have a problem with D.L. Hughley making that joke.
Oh no, it's perfectly fine. He could have said the whole thing. He could have just repeated what Don Imus said and meant it, and there would have been no problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so the last thing I want to talk about is that video of that father that was trying to plead self-defense. And yeah, I mean, like, at some point, there's supposed to be a stopping point where if you cross that line, it's no longer self-defense. And I'm sad to say that he crossed that line.
I mean, it wasn't that to begin with, because if you go up to somebody and you approach them with, it's like, hey man, what are you doing, this and the third? Like at that point, you initiating the contact. So really, the self-defense would have happened in the bathroom if he was able to catch him in there doing whatever he was doing. That would have been self-defense, but not when you approach somebody afterwards. You just, at that point, trying to get revenge, or you're trying to do some street stuff. But the law does not respect the codes of the street. The law is the law regardless of what. So you can't, if you want to do something like that, then go ahead, be my guest. But you got to understand that there's consequences, because the streets and the law don't match. It's like oil and water.
Yeah, exactly. It reminded me of with my first girlfriend, where she had a cousin, where the guy cousin, his sister was in some type of little abusive relationship or something. So the guy went to confront the boyfriend, and the boyfriend shot at him one time. So he left the scene, but he came back and emptied the clip on him. He ended up surviving, but he emptied the clip on him. And we're talking about, well, can that be considered self-defense?
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's like at some point, when you cross that line, it's no longer self-defense. I mean, you left the scene and came back with your own weapon when the situation was already over.
It's over, yeah. Now you re-engaging afterwards. It's like, even if, like, let's say somebody robs me gunpoint, and then I go find them 2 weeks later and do something to them. That's not self-defense. I'm just trying to get revenge.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, then. Bye.
All right. Thank you to my man Victor for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And let me get to my next call. 240, you know, line, who I'm speaking to.
Hey, boy JB, what's up, brother?
Everything's good, man. What's going on?
Another day, never doubt. Y'all here just hustling, you know, that's all you can do, brother.
That's right.
Man, oh man, these people losing their daggone freaking mind. We're going to war. And then me talking about, well, black people were, we didn't make it, we were kidnapped and brought here. I said, shut up. People on Facebook making these dumb comments. And you know what makes me so sick is, it's always the people who always talk about we're going to war. And none of them signed up to be in the military, so whatever. I did my time. I did 2 years in Iraq, and hey, 2 years back to back. And let me tell you, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Am I right, ABL?
That's right.
And these people understand that, hey, if you let people bully you, it only gets worse. Look at Obama. Need I say more? Need I say more?
Exactly.
Exactly. And the thing people don't understand is that Iran is obitually line crosses. Am I lying?
Yeah. like what's it? Rick James.
Yeah, obitually line crosses. Get choked up. That's what they kept doing to us, antagonizing us, and then we did Charlie Murphy and beat his legs down. That's a good analysis, ain't it?
Yep.
But that's the crazy thing about everything. People don't understand is that I'm surprised when people are defending with Iran. I can't get over this. This most disrespectful thing you ever do to somebody is, hey, Iran, we're sorry for our president did to you. Well, we elected him, so I mean, you play a role in this too, technically. But on real stuff though, I looked at you seen the polling numbers of who raised most money. Donald Trump is up like $40 million so far. He's killing everybody. He's killing everybody.
Like it's not even close. And the thing about it is that Trump had half of the money that Hillary Clinton had in 2016, but now he's way outpacing the people in the Democratic Party for fundraising now. So you got the incumbent, strong economy, strong approval rating. The impeachment ain't gonna go nowhere. He got more money. He got it in the bag.
And then you know what's so sick is everybody keeps saying there's this whole impeachment thing. He's only to expose how messed up he is. I said it didn't expose anything because they have nothing. I mean, everybody asked, Did you hear the question? No, I didn't. But who told you about it? We heard from another person, a third party. Then you don't know anything. I mean, it's like asinine as it. And did you hear your boy Mitch McConnell? Mitch McConnell news. Everybody keeps how he's defending the president good, and his actions we did with what's name and how and reactions again from the Democrats.
Nah.
He's basically saying how the president did the right thing for doing this, and Cory Booker's talking about, you heard about Cory Booker about saying he was wrong what he did, and he stands behind the rest of his party saying that it's going into a war, and he says they're going to bomb places. You heard about Cory Booker saying he's going to bomb everything and everything? You heard about that?
Yeah.
Cory Booker's a moron. And then you got the squad going out there preaching and everything. And I mean, it's the most anti-Semitic. And people are actually saying that these are good people. No, they're not. They are calling for genocide against Israel. I mean, what? Sickening. Well, anyways, ABL, I'm gonna get off the radio station. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm mumbling right now. I'm getting a little frustrated. But before I go, hey, you get anything new? You played that? And you played Batman for the VR? Batman VR is pretty good too. It's a little old, but it's on point though.
I might have to check it out, but nah, I ain't played that.
Yeah, it's on sale for like maybe I think like $10.
Oh, okay.
It's like, and you put your hand up, you can dial, but what's the name? You can dial the car, but come get you in the car, pull it in front of you, see the car, you drive the car. It's kind of cool. I didn't think I don't like it, but I actually liked it.
Okay.
All right, brother, man. Catch you later on the flip side, BL. Keep the good work up, brother, man. Hey, we should 800,000 for the year's over.
Hey, that's the goal, man. I'm trying to keep on going.
Exactly, and hey, I'm trying to get you on CNN Sports Talk. Political views. All right, brother.
Peace. All right, thank you to my man JB for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. The number to call is 434-658-1220. We got about a half hour left. Maybe about 18 minutes. Let's go to the next call, and that's going to be 478. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
First of all, this is an American number that I use in smartphone application. It's called texting. Listen, I live in Lebanon, on the border of Israel. I live exactly in Hezbollah's home, which is called Ad-Dahi, if you know what I'm talking about. Talk to me. Ask me anything to see if I'm the same person or a terrorist. Listen, man, what's going on there? All the information that your government and the media are providing, it's kind of fake. They are saying the people that Soleimani is like al-Baghdadi or Osama bin Laden. The only thing that he's doing and up to is to kill Americans? Really? Come on. If you kill my brother by mistake, like in a car accident, would you blame me? Would you blame my whole family? I mean, listen, please take a look at the history in our perspective view. Iran and Hezbollah has been fighting ISIS and Al-Qaeda since forever. And they have problems with Israel, which occupied our country 30 years ago. Israel is based on a country that doesn't belong to it, Palestine. You know that, right? Please read very deep about it. Well, since then, Hezbollah, which is supported by Iran, is fighting only to defend our country. But the U.S. government keeps supporting Israel, which, by the way, they help and hostage so many al-Nusra members in their hospitals. Al-Nusra is a separated organization that follow Al-Qaeda line, if you know what I mean. Now, the last thing I want to say, please take a look at Hassan Nasrallah's speeches. Speeches talking about America. And what's last thing? Hello?
I'm listening to you. Go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah. Now, the last thing, I said, please take a look at Hassan Nasrallah's speeches talking about America and what's the real deal. What is really going on. And remember, Iran and Hezbollah are not Al-Qaeda or ISIS. We're talking about civilized people that are sane and rational. Thank you so much.
Okay. He didn't allow me to ask him any questions. He was like, ask me anything, and then he just read from a sheet of paper. That's probably what it was. But okay, you're Lebanese, that's fine. But who's arming the people over in Yemen? Who's doing that? Like, what's going on with these groups in Yemen that are fighting? I mean, are the Iranians doing that? like the Iranians are spreading their brand of Islam all over the region. You know, how about the Saudis? You want to talk about Israel? How about the Saudis? How you feel about them? You got to get over the whole thing about Israel, man. They won, you lost. Oh well, it is what it is. It wasn't no such place called Palestine, as far as I know. That's a made up term. But hey, I mean, maybe I'm just ignorant. Hopefully, the Lebanese guy calls back in so we can have a conversation rather than him just reading a sheet of paper. You know what I'm saying? All I heard was Allahu Akbar 22 times, but I digress. Let me get back to the next call. 419 on the line. I'm speaking to.
How you doing, man? My name is Jay.
All right, Jay, what's happening?
Oh, not too much, man. I've been checking you out for a while, man. I like the work you're doing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, man. Look. Okay, I'm starting out like this, man. Look, I'm black, right? And I face a lot of discrimination from my own people by telling people that Trump is is a good guy. He's a good guy for us. He's a good guy for America and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I have voted for Obama when he first got in or whatever, but then I started looking at it because I was a Democrat at first. And I started looking at what he's doing, and the stuff that he was doing was not helpful to America or towards the black community in general or whatever. And I just think that, what I'm saying, like Trump he's never been given a fair shot the whole time he's been president. Since he's been president, they've been trying to take it away from him since day one. From the Russia stuff and all the little scandals or whatever they trying to bring up on him or whatever. But as far as this Iran situation or whatever, I think this is something that needed to be done a long time ago. And I just think he the only one with enough balls to actually pull the trigger and do what needs to be done. What you think about that?
I'm with you on that. I mean, I think Trump is the kind of guy that will lead from the front rather than being told what to do like previous leaders. Your George Bush, your Barack Obama, they get sheet of paper every morning and say, hey, I need you to go out there and say this, do that, do this. I'm like, okay, I'll do whatever you want versus taking the presidency, and really directing it in the way you want it to go, which is what a leader should do rather than letting outside people tell you what to do. And people don't like that in D.C. They want people to be in there and just abide by their wishes. These government employees, the deep state, whatever you want to call it, they want you to do what they want you to do, not actually be a president and lead. So a guy like Trump is needed to actually lead the country rather than to be a stooge of employees of the deep state.
Because you know what? I was on a Greyhound bus and I was traveling through the country or whatever. Like I was going to different family houses, stopping at different places across the country on a Greyhound. And it was like people walking up to me when the presidential election was about to happen in 2016. And I knew he was going to win by just the regular people who just approached me and just talked to me about the political situation. Like, most people was tired of what the Democrats were doing. It wasn't just Obama, it's the whole Democrat situation or whatever. And damn it. But my fault, man. My girl coming here messing with me now. But I want to give you kudos on what you're doing or whatever, and I'm pro-Trump, man.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
All right, you have a nice night.
All right, same to you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. Shout out to Mr. Angry for your donation. I appreciate you. And shout out to Crush Groovin who says, sorry I missed the show. Shame on me. Cheers. Hey, it's all good, boss. You gotta catch the repeat. And thank you for your donation. I most certainly appreciate you. And shout out to everybody that's called in tonight. Everybody that's in the chat. All you guys are fantastic as always. The best audience all over the internets is right here on the channel. And I thank y'all for that. Without y'all, couldn't be no me. Did I get everybody on Super Chat? I think I did. Oh, shout out to Doberman Pincher who says, have this money. Will do. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you to Bill Monahan who says, great job, callers. Thank you for that. Shout out to DA who says there's a chemical in most vape juice that causes popcorn lung. Okay. Yeah, I think I'd heard about that. Shout out to Malu Smile for your donation. I definitely appreciate you for that. Let me get to the next call. And that's going to be, let's go. 678 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, this is Nicholas from Tacoma, Washington.
All righty, what's going
Hey,
on?
Nothing much. I had a general question. I'm going to ask is about English. Can't speak it today. I'm going to ask it right quick and then hang up because I got to go. But how do you deal with people who can't, physically handle the truth of something? 2 examples. I have a really good friend who I can't have a conversation with her pertaining to the data of her imaginary wage gap for women versus men. I give her the data. She says, well, historically they've had problems. And I'm like, yeah, I understand that, but I'm talking about the hard data. It's really hard to connect that in her brain. And then second, I have an argument with my mother who just cannot face the fact that antibiotics do not work for viruses, and it only works for bacteria. She thinks it works for viruses. So it's all in the same loop of how do you handle people who can't really who can't really handle the truth of something, and they just constantly live with their whatever.
Okay, now I think the main thing is you just got to explain it to people in the realist way possible without sugarcoating anything, without necessarily being disrespectful, but at the same time just giving it to them straight, without any kind of without any kind of concessions for what they may think or feel. Just give it to them straight. Now, if they don't want to hear it, there's nothing you can really do. You're talking about adults here, like the old saying goes, it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. Once they are pretty much set in that mind state, it's hard to really convince them of anything otherwise. If you put something out there and you lay your case in a convincing way, in the real way, without any kind of extra stuff on it, just in a truthful way, maybe they'll get it. Maybe not right at that particular point in time, but maybe in the future. It's like planting the seed, and then once they go throughout their life, it might get watered by other people telling them different things, by their own personal experiences, and then maybe they can change their mind. But a lot of times it doesn't really work like that. As far as the specific cases you're talking about, the one thing with the antibiotics person, I mean, you could just give straight information on that. A book, it wipes out all bacteria. That's what antibiotics do. That is what it is. You can get into that. If they don't want to accept it, then oh well. They're just not accepting facts that you can actually prove with documents telling you the person that's what it does. And then the thing about the wage gap, maybe approach it from a different direction. I'm not quite sure what your argument was, but the way I would talk about it is, well, back in the day where there were quote unquote problems, the life of a woman was much different and much easier than it is today. You could stay at home, raise the kids, have fun. You weren't at work. You weren't going to war. You weren't living this stressful life that many women live right now. So things are different. And a lot of women still want to go back to that particular point in time because men and women are different. And you can give the positive and negative thing that somebody may see as negative for men and women. Men are not as dainty and delicate and intricate with details as women are. We're not detail oriented. Women are detail oriented. Women are better with small children. But at the same time, women are not as good as, doing physical labor, manual labor. You're not going to see an all-female group of loggers out there in Washington State somewhere cutting down trees. Break it down to her like that in a real way, in the way that may make her feel kind of upset, but not in a disrespectful way. If she doesn't get it, she doesn't get it, and that's pretty much all you got there.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I ended up, is that she just never got the actual, she couldn't understand the actual data. She just said, classically, women have been treated this way. It's just really bad. We've got to improve that. I'm like, but we're having 2 different arguments.
Right.
It's pretty crazy. But I appreciate it. I appreciate that you're on here talking all the time and, continue doing what you're doing. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to the caller. But yeah, my whole thing about, women back in the day, it was a better situation for them. People say, oh, I don't want to go back to the 1950s. I ain't trying to do this, that, and the third. But a lot of women want to do that. A lot of women prefer to have the home life and do all that kind of stuff. Now, some women don't want to do it. They want to be out here being CEOs, business owners. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. You have the freedom to do that in America. But a lot of women don't want to do that. It's simple. They want a dad to provide, and, they want traditional gender roles to come back. They like that. When she go around the world, you see gender roles exist. When you don't have gender roles as they traditionally were, you have other social issues that pop up. It's like, okay, you solved the quote unquote problem of women not, having jobs or whatever, but now you have new problems. women starting to drink, dealing with their stress. It's you're just trying to balance it. You know, so this whole thing about the wage gap, you're looking at it kind of in a shallow way. Look at the overall situation with women and see what's the best solution for women to achieve happiness. The same thing for men. But let me get to the next call here. Let's go 647 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, Scott calling from Toronto.
All righty, man. What's going on?
All right, you're a hard guy to reach, man. Long time listener. But
all
hey,
good.
yeah, man. I'm up here in liberal Canada, man. But I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, man.
Oh, okay, man. So what was the move to go from Brooklyn to Toronto? What made you move?
Well, I left in 2012 during the recession. You know, things got slow over there, so I came over to liberal Canada. I got some family over here, so I came over here, and it's pretty nice over here. Can't lie.
Okay.
But it's hard convincing people over here that Trump is a good guy, man. People over here are brainwashed because in Canada, there's no conservative media. It's mostly liberal media over here. So there's no conservative news channels like Fox News or anything. So you only hear one side of the story over here, you know?
Yeah.
But YouTube, it clears up a lot of that. So I work with a lot of guys, you know, so I try to educate them on certain things so they would not budge on Trump at all. So up to today, I even had a conversation. They're like, look, their argument is always presidents are chosen, they're not elected. Nothing changes from Trump to Obama to Bush. So I said, okay, I'm going to give you that. But I'll break it down like this. Now Star Wars is out now, so we all into that right now. So I like, look, they all are chosen if you want to put it that way. But you have the Sith who works his dark magic, and you have Jedi who uses white magic. Trump is that gray Jedi that walks in the middle. He's neither Sith, he's neither Jedi. So, for example, I said Trump would do some things that you would disagree with and others you would agree with. Trump says he's going to put adoption on faith-based merit. So, if a faith-based organization don't want you to adopt a child, he says you on faith alone, you could say, no, I'm not going to let you adopt that child. I find that's pretty good. But if you're a liberal, you're going to look at that as a bad thing. So I always say it's the optics. So Trump is neither good or bad. It's from your point of view. So I don't know how to slice it with these guys, man. They're just brainwashed over here.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. You know, and it's hard, like you said. It's not really any conservatives in Canada on television or anything like that. So it's hard, you know. If you're trying to convince people, just start with some small stuff, some real little things, and just try to sneak that in there. And like I was telling the previous caller, it's like planting the seed. And then as they experience life, the seed gets watered and maybe it blossoms into a big, beautiful tree. But if you're trying to convince them of the way they grew up their whole life is not the right way, especially when they get to be adults, it's real hard to do that.
Well, I don't think there's any convincing them, man. Just hopefully we all wake up one day and see the media is not what it is, because they swear Trump was going to get impeached. And I said, look, how can he get impeached when it has to go to Senate? They're not even going to vote on it. There's no impeachment. It's just a show for the people so they can muddy up the waters. So in November, they could say Trump is an impeached president.
Yeah.
Just so they could have it on record. But it doesn't actually mean anything. He's still going to be there. He's still going to get reelected. Like I said, what I see happening in November is Trump is going to get reelected. You're going to have a whole bunch of people walking around with hurt feelings. People are outside celebrating with Make America Great Again hat on. Somebody is going to attack one of them. Usually, Republicans they go by the Second Amendment. So you run up on somebody, you hit them, they're going to let off on somebody. Trump is going to get up there and say, the person I know at Trump to be would say, hey, should have keep your hands to yourself. Don't be hitting nobody. Now that's going to say Trump is racist, he's this and that. And I see an American Civil War happening before I see a world war. And then everybody going to have to pick a side then. That's the way I see that going.
Yeah.
Because people are just far gone, man. There's no saving them. Hopefully it don't get that bad in November, but I could see it happening way before I see this world war.
I'm with you.
But thanks for taking my call, ABL. I'm listening. Long time listener. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye.
All right, great call, great call. Got one last call here. 214 you online. I'm speaking to.
Hey, this is Debating Your Crush. Like I say, you can call me Crush. I've talked to you before.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Okay, I have a question for you. Do you think that MSM has the ability to manipulate people? I mean, literally manipulate people.
Oh, 100%. Yes, absolutely. I see it every day. I mean, because people talk to me, just like normies in the street, they talk to me, and all I'm hearing is what CNN says, just repeat it back to me, like with no difference. They say the exact same thing because CNN would say it over and over and over and over and over and over again to the point where it gets programmed into a person's mind, and then when a person wants to talk about something like that, they just recall what they heard from CNN, the programming that they heard, and they just repeat it back. That's what is happening right now, in my humble opinion.
Exactly. Here's kind of my spew on the whole thing. I'm going to try and go from the beginning because it's okay. Obama and all of the left at the time when he was in office was stealing. They were stealing money left and right. And he when I kind of researched him, he left with he came in with $7 million, and most of it was campaign money. He left with $40 million. His daughter left with $40 million, and his wife left with $40 million. So it was like $120 million. It was pretty much all his that he left with, but that's what was on the books. I think there was a lot of stuff off the books that went through the email servers that was Hillary Clinton's. I think he had that set up because whenever she had those servers, I think her and the FBI helped her to delete all that stuff. They were all in cahoots. And as a matter of fact, I just spoke with another YouTube channel, and I was kind of asking them to research, because I don't know that I can get that far, but to research Obama and the Clintons, because I think they may have known each other before Obama was even nominated to be president. I think the Clintons set him up. They put him in there. And Obama started stealing money, beyond their beliefs. They're like, oh, my God, this guy's a genius, And because, he's giving money to all these countries, and I think he's getting kickbacks. Like, he'll give money to Iran. He gave them $2 billion, like $1 billion in cash in a pallet on a plane. And, it's like he gives them $2 billion, he gets $10 million back. And that's, how he's getting his money crooked. And he was hiding it in the Clinton fund. And they even told Clinton, Hillary, that she might go to jail. And she said, well, if I go down, I'm taking everybody with me. And it freaked me out when she said that, because that's kind of a guilty plea. And I seen it, and I tried to find it on YouTube. I can't find it anymore. But I seen it with my own eyes. Now, if they're making all this money and Google is behind them, because Google is biased, right? As far as part of the manipulation. Think about in the 40s and 50s, whenever they first started doing, what is that called? When they'll show a picture on the screen real fast, subliminal messages.
Yeah, subliminal, yeah.
Okay, well, if they started doing that in the 40s, imagine how advanced they are now. Google is, I've seen a documentary where they went and they copied all books from all countries, and they were doing it for free, and they were kind of doing it underhanded. And then they turned around and started selling them. there's this guy, his name is not Jeffrey Epstein, his name is Robert Epstein. Highly recommend him. You got to see this guy. He researches human behaviors, and he's been doing it for 40 years, and he said that he's never seen anything like this that Google is doing. My point is, if Google can manipulate people and they can brainwash people, I don't think they're just brainwashing the left. I don't think they really hate Trump. The elites, the Democrats in power, because the Democrats, like down where we're at, I think they're just brainwashed. They're getting bombarded with, and we know that they are because we're woke. We can see, wow, they think Trump is, prejudiced and stuff, and we know for a fact that he's not. So we know these people are manipulated. And my point is if they're manipulating them, is it possible that they're manipulating us? Because I call myself second degree woke, because if you think about how powerful they are, all the people that Clinton literally murdered. I mean, I don't know if you've seen Mena from InfoWars. Highly recommend it. It's only 30 minutes, but I mean, it's insane. It says, they're saying, and all of this has been like unclassified, and they're showing that Bill Clinton OD'd on cocaine twice. And he was doing these things where he was selling guns to, and it was kind of like that movie. I don't know if you've seen it, Air America or something like that, where the guy was bringing drugs from Pablo Escobar and he was taking them and selling guns. And basically he was just making a lot of money and couldn't really hide it. Well, all of this was going on under Clinton. Clinton was crooked. The people who would try and come out against him, he would kill them. So if they're making all of this money and they're giving money to Iran and they're giving money to China and they're giving money to basically everybody in the UN and we're paying their way, it's like, okay, we'll give out $100 million. I get my $10 million back, kickback. Well, Trump doesn't understand that. It isn't it isn't that Trump is a saint, and he's a good guy and he's a patriot. And I love him to death. I pray for him all the time, and I want him to take us there. But he's got $3 billion, and he doesn't understand. Well, I'm going to give these guys $100 million and get $10 million back. And he's like, why would I give you $100 million and get $10 million back? Why don't I just keep my whole $100 million? You can't bribe Trump because he's a billionaire. The last I checked, he's $3.2 billion. I mean, $10 million, he doesn't want it. He'd rather keep the whole $300 million. So we're bleeding and hemorrhaging all this money out of including with just immigration, all of the aspects that he's stopping the hemorrhaging. It's all coming back into the U.S. It's being pumped back into the U.S. and it's going to trickle down to us. And I want to see where it'll take us, because I believe in 2 years, I almost think that almost everybody, even the blue collar and the lesser class, are going to double their finances in 2 years. That's my prediction. I predicted that the immigration, that the housing facilities would be kind of empty in a year, and I said that about a year ago. And I mean, it's down 70% just by kind of what he's doing. The thing is, the elites, not the next door neighbor Democrats, but the Democrats that are in charge. You've seen that in the impeachment trials. It's all BS. Yeah. I mean, it's all. And what I think they're hiding is the fact that Google, what this dude Robert Epstein said. He said that the only time he's ever seen that kind of power before was when it was the phone company. It was Ma Bell. There was nobody else. It was only them, and that they were tapping everybody's phones. So the government had to step in. The government stepped in, broke them up, and they it created what is that called when they're competing with each other? I can't think of the word. But anyways, there's so many phone companies that there's competition. And it stopped that superpower. My question is, what if they had not stopped that superpower? They would have ended up buying all the oil companies. I mean, because they would have been super rich. And once they bought the oil companies, then they'd buy the banks, and they would have ran the entire world. And another company that was coming up like that was the credit card companies. Google is like that, and he's saying Google is like this, and what they're doing is they're manipulating everybody. And the way that I had found this out was I lost access to YouTube for like 3 months. But whenever I had YouTube, it kept telling me, you know, Trump is winning, Trump is winning, Trump is winning. You know, all my YouTubers, and I felt confident, you know, well, we're going to win. It's a landslide. But when it broke, I went and got another one, and it didn't recognize me. It told me, you know, we'll log in with your name, and we'll, or you could come in as a guest. So I came in as a guest, and so I'm thinking, okay, cool. I can finally check my stats on, you know, how we're doing. And all it kept telling me was, Trump sucks, you know, orange man bad. If you're on the fence, vote for Trump. And I'm thinking that what Google is doing is it's telling us that Trump is winning. And I think they're telling Trump that. Like I said, if you think about the madness about how much they want to be in power and how much that they're going to, you know, what they would do and who they would kill to be in that power, I don't think they're going to let Trump win. You know, I don't think they want impeachment. I know that they feel like, okay, well, if they impeach, they get.
I'm gonna cut you right. I'm gonna cut you, caller. I'm gonna cut you right here. But hey, you on the road. You're doing a great job. But I gotta go ahead and wrap the show up, man. So hey, you gotta call it. You gotta call in again sometime, man, because you were definitely on the road, man. So thank you for your call.
Right on. I appreciate that, ABL, and you rock, dude. I love your work, and keep it up. And peace.
All right, now peace. All right, shout out to the caller. All right, but you know we gotta wrap it on up. I'm actually over my time. You know I had to be right on time, 8 to 11 Eastern every Wednesday and Saturday night. But I gotta wrap it on up. Put a nice bow on the top. Thank y'all for joining. I'm most certainly appreciate you guys. It's been a great show. Really enjoyed it. Shout out to all the callers, all the super chatters, everybody in the chat, everybody just watching. Wherever you at, you could be on your phone, tablet, computer, desktop, laptop, whatever it is. I appreciate you for watching. If you're not subscribed already, I don't know what you're doing. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button right now. And right beside the subscribe button, there should be a bell. Click that bell so you get notified if I go live or post a new video or both. Again, thank you for joining. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to the last super chatters. Shout out to D. Straham for your donation. Definitely appreciate you, boss. Shout out to Mike from Queens who says military should sell stock in drones. Hey, that stock going all the way up. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Stacy Felice who says definitely appreciate you, ABL. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Lori Double O who says good show, ABL. Thank you for your very kind words and your donation. Definitely appreciate you. And that is everybody. Thank you to all you guys for joining, all the PayPal people as well. Thank you for your donations. Shout out to everybody for the show. It's been a great one. You guys know I'll be back live again on Wednesday from 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. Same thing on Saturday. I try to get here every Wednesday and Saturday consistently. And, of course, there will be pre-recorded videos all throughout the week. Try to do 6 days a week. That's my goal. 2 a day, 6 days a week. That's the goal. If there's no content, then I just won't put no content up, but I'll try to do something every day. So that's pretty much all I got. Thank y'all for being here yet again. And that is pretty much a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out and peace.